Three, two, one, go. All right. This is Kim Bucho. Welcome to VA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena Special Edition show. That's right, it's the Studil show. He'll be taking over and he'll also take on your phone calls and hopefully StreamYard. We're having some issues with StreamYard, so let's see if it works. All right, Stu, take it away.
Yeah, what's happening, boys? Butcher just asked me to do a show, so sitting here lying in bed. It's cold in England right now, not a lot to do, so the car needs new brakes. I can't even drive that until like they get done. So I got time on my hands, so I thought we'd do a show. And good night of boxing yesterday. We obviously had Josh Warrington, who just suffered a real bad defeat, and we're going to talk about whether he can bounce back. You had the Shearer fight, which was a tremendous fight for me. That's the sort of fight I like, you see. All right. Some of the boxing purists, would have been cringing at some of the defense that was going on there. But, mate, this is an entertainment business, and I want to see people get punched in the face. That's just how it is. If I want to see people running, I'd watch athletics. If I want to see people holding, I'd watch wrestling. I watch boxing because I want to see people get punched in the face. And that's what we saw last night. Let's just say that there was some exciting fights. I did miss the Diaz fight. I do apologise. I fell asleep after the show we did last night. I slept in quite late, and I've had a couple of things to do. And I got to catch up on the Shearer Castano fight, which is a very exciting fight. I just haven't caught up with the Diaz fight. Obviously, the show's a bit earlier than usual. I would have caught up with it otherwise, but yeah, I mean, I'm willing to take phone calls and let's talk some boxing. Who's with me right now? Are you Butcho and Big
Yeah, I'm
A?
here.
Is Big A there as well?
Yeah, at this point, I'm still here.
Okay. Well, just so I know who I'm talking to, and you
Yeah.
have to send a few links. Well,
Hey,
look at
Stu,
the
let,
chat.
let me guess, Stu, you were rooting against the Argentinian guy, Castaño?
No, I mean, listen, I don't. I'm not one of these that has a problem with the RGs. We have a little laugh about the Falklands and stuff on here, but no, I got no problem with the RGs. It was a good fight. I mean, look, Brazil v Argentina is always a competitive affair, no matter what sport it is. They're not best of friends. Let's just say that. And them two went to war last night, and I thought Castano, he fought the perfect fight to fight a guy that's rangy and long, and he just took his range from him and dragged him into a dogfight that he just didn't have the stomach for. I mean, he showed a tremendous chin, and he showed a lot of heart, but he just couldn't keep Castano off him. And Castano, I mean, look, a suspicious work rate. Let's just say that. Very, very suspicious work rate from that guy. I mean, the guy just doesn't stop. He was doing the same in the 11th and 12th, just amazing work rate, and that's a bit suspicious for me. I mean, but we'll leave it there on that one. But it was a good fight, and I thought Castano deserved the win. I thought he was the he was the guy that was putting on the hurting. You know, Teixeira was keeping him off with some good shots now and again, but he was constantly trying to track back, trying to retreat. But Castano was cutting off the ring very intelligently. It just didn't give him a chance to set his feet or to even get out of there. He was just smothered, and I think he sort of took the heart from Teixeira. But what do you think, BDA?
I think Castaño fought the way he always fights, and I was very high on him coming in because in what's his name, Teixeira's last fight, he looked vulnerable against Adames. He fought an awful fight, but that's just the way he fights. He doesn't use his height and reach, and he got busted up in that fight. So I said, you know what, the what I've seen from Castaño, he just jumps on you and mauls you. I was actually expecting him to put more of a beating on Teixeira, which he did. I mean, don't get me wrong, he won the fight handedly in my view. But looking forward to his other fights, he's got a Jermall Charlo in there, who's the consensus #1 guy, and he can crack. And like I was saying yesterday, after what we saw happen with Warrington, who has a similar style to Castaño in that he's not going to knock you out, he's not going to outbox you, he's just going to outwork you. But what happens if he can't outwork you? What happens if the other guys with his bigger bumps is actually undoing everything you're doing with your little shots? So now I'm dubious about whether he can beat Jermall Charlo. What do you think?
Look, that's a good fight, you know. But the thing is with Charlo, he's a bit more classier with his shots. You come steaming in, leaving yourself open. Then Charlo could exploit that with a big shot. I mean, look, I think the problem is every time Teixeira tried to go to the body with a hook, he was getting countered with a hook himself. And every time he tried to change things up, he was even the uppercuts. He tried an uppercut, he got hit with a big shot. You know, he just sort of like just didn't have the answers for me. You know, and look, it's going to take a top guy in that division to beat Castaño. I mean, like a Charlo. I mean, that sort of guy. When I'm thinking about it, I think Castaño beats most of them, but maybe Charlo might be one bit too far for him. But that work rate, I mean, that's hard to cope with. I don't care who you are. You could be Floyd Mayweather. That work rate's hard to cope with. And he's quite intelligent at cutting off the ring too. So it's not one of these guys who's going to follow you around the ring and you can get out of there. This
That's
guy's
true,
intelligent and he's swarming you. But obviously, when you fight like that, you do give your opponent opportunities, and it's just whether these guys have got the pop. Teixeira just didn't have the pop, you see, and I preach this in every fight. Punching power is the most important thing. All right, you got to have skills, but punching power, you need something that's going to keep one of these guys off you, make him think twice about coming in again. You know, make him start doubting what he can do. But when he's walking through your shots, and you're taking big shots in return, then sort of your heart goes. And I think that's what we saw with Teixeira. I mean, I'm not saying his heart went because he showed courage in there and he tried to win the fight. He just wasn't strong enough, wasn't good enough. And that's what they say. Levels to boxing, isn't there?
Hey, Bucho was very critical of Teixeira, saying, "Wow, the guy's not even trying. You know, he's and even
No.
when he's
I
trying,
didn't
he's
think he
not-"
wasn't trying. I think he was completely ineffective with his offense. I mean, he wasn't even Castaño wasn't even respecting Teixeira. He was, but I want to get to the Charlo fight later. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't say he wasn't trying. Just basically, I think his offense was garbage. He was slow
I
as fuck.
think what it was, but Butcho, I see what they're saying, but I wouldn't say he wasn't trying. I think he sort of like lost a bit of heart. Everything he was doing was not working, and he sort of knew what was on the cards, and you know, it sort of takes it takes a lot of energy from you as well, knowing that the knockouts coming or the beatings coming. I just think once he started landing the big shots and nothing was happening, and he was just getting swarmed in the end, you could see him. He just didn't have time to think, didn't have time to breathe. He just didn't have the footwork to get away from Castaño. He just wasn't the foot speed, and that was his problem. It was just look. He's a hard night for anyone. I mean, he's one of them fighters. Do you really want that? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them where you got to be prepared for a rough, long night with this guy. And
well, Stu, but what does that tell? I mean, this also tells you the level of Teixeira. You know, this is there's no plan B. You know,
no.
So, and when it comes to Castaño,
I think who was it? Was it Recognized that said that? I agreed with him 100% that he sort of like the way he fights, he sort of takes his range, his advantages and his range from himself. He sort of sits there trading in the pocket with a slugger, you know. And he's just the way he's built. When you're built with long arms, just a bit like Wilder, he's built like that, isn't he? You know, you're not built for inside fighting. That's why Wilder can't fight on the inside. You know, it's just the best. Even then, he just didn't have the foot speed or the skills to keep Castano off him, even if he fought a different game plan. When I see that fight, I think they could fight 10 times, and I just couldn't pick just Teixeira to win one of them.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Who's this?
Boom. We need to know what's going on with the fights and the breakdown.
Pigeon, have you been drinking?
Ask me a question, you fuckers. Ask me a question.
Have you been drinking?
Not today.
That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Not today.
All right. Good.
Was you drinking yesterday?
On Friday night, I was. I got most of the fight. When the Joe Smith fight was cancelled, man, I was just a bit pissed off with that because the COVID and everything. So I sort of gave up once the Joe Smith thing was cancelled. I got all the results. I watched the Warrington fight live. Like all you guys, I watched the Teixeira fight as well. But it was a good weekend of boxing, but it wasn't breathtaking, was it, to be honest? It was what it was.
Well, look, it's what you make it. See, it's what you like as well. I said the purists wouldn't have been. Well, I said earlier the purists would have been cringing, but I'm not a purist. I like to see fights. I'm here to see people get punched in the face, like I said, and I thought it was a good night of boxing. I'm not too demanding.
I don't
when
need
I
a
come on here and moan
masterpiece
about
to be proud
cards.
of.
Yeah, I'm not demanding world-class fights every week. I'm just demanding decent fights. I'm seeing a lot of fighters go in there, go through the motions, give us 50% and collect their paychecks, and I think that's unacceptable. But
it was good. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. So.
Yeah, and like I said, I got a lot of flack. I got a lot of flack last night, obviously because another Brit took a bad loss, and I was dreading it, to be honest with you, because that's the way things go on the BDA. A Brit loses, and Stu Little's the one that got knocked out, isn't he? Stu Little's the one that got beat up. But
but didn't you see it coming? You see that coming.
Like, you can't deny. You can't sit back. Well, you can't sit back and deny. One sec. You can't sit back and deny that the UK is having a real bad patch at the moment. I mean, if UK boxing, if we was playing in like a team system, we'd be fucking in a relegation battle right now.
Well, there you go. But they are shit. Listen, the UK style is shit. It's a sniper style. Yeah. It's fighting from the outside.
Listen, there's no such
garbage.
thing as a
the only reason. No, wait a sec. The only reason the UK, and I'm from the UK like you. Listen, let me finish and carry on. The only reason they ever get anywhere.
No one's saying anything, man.
Wait, calm down. It's because of the promoters. The promoters.
Hey, Butcho, why do you always bring Pigeon on my shows?
I don't know. He wanted to jump in. I don't know.
Butcho, every time I have a show, Pigeon is the first guy you bring on.
Oh, you're a pussy, bro. You're a pussy, bro.
It's two Brits.
It's the biggest
Brits, man.
What a pussy, bro. He doesn't even want to discuss things. Fuck off, bro. You fucking stupid piece of shit.
Jeez Louise.
What the hell's going on, man? This is...
Pigeon, put the bottle away, you degenerate little drunk, and come back.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, you idiot.
Come back when you're
as much knowledge of boxing. You have no knowledge of boxing whatsoever, mate. All you know is Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. All you know is Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. You're the biggest dumb fucking piece of shit. You're the biggest dumb piece of shit I've ever met. You're a fucking moron, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and listen to
Get him off my show before I get fucking mad. Trust me. Get that clown off my fucking show.
Hey, this is Big Drama Show, man. This is what it's all about. This is Stu Show.
Pete, this is what I mean. Don't bring that drunk on my show again. We're talking some good boxing. When does that guy ever contribute anything good about boxing? He's saying, I don't know nothing. He doesn't even know how to pronounce Teixeira. He's calling Teixeira, whatever. I don't know, man. The guy's a fucking clown.
You should be fucking in here. You should be fucking in there.
I don't know, man. I kind of agree with a lot of what he said, man.
Cheers,
yeah.
BDO.
What? What was he saying? I don't even know what was going on.
I'd love to do a crime with BDO. I'd be arrested before I got home.
Oh man.
They'll be knocking on your doors too. Hey, Sonny boy.
Look. I don't know what Pigeon's problem is. This is what happens when you drink in the day, man. What, you know, this guy. I mean, look, it's 5-5, right? And this guy is drunk already. I mean, people have not even had their tea yet, or their dinner, as you guys call it. They've not even had that yet. This guy's drunk already, coming on here swearing, going mad on my shows, man. Well, don't bring him on my show again, please, Butcho.
All right.
Well, listen, it's your show today, so you call the shots. But any other day, you're gonna have to handle him like a good British lad. You know what I mean? He's in there. He's a powerhouse, man. Especially when you get drunk Pigeon, he goes up 5 points, so he becomes even more difficult to beat.
If I wanted to hang around drunks, right, I'd go to the fucking pub, wouldn't I? See what I mean? I don't want to hang around drunks. I don't want to talk boxing with drunks. The guy's got no manners, and look how he just flipped.
He says he's in the chat room. He says, I'm in my pants taking a dump. Okay, that's actually what I expected a little bit there from Pigeon. But anyway, look, listen, getting back to the fight. I mean, the Castaño fight. Look, listen, I think Teixeira, whatever his name is, Teixeira, but Vizinho de Falau, he gave it a good shot.
Teixeira.
Teixeira.
He gave it a good.
Yeah.
Nah, Sheda. Let's call him Sheda.
He was
but listen,
shit.
the point
His
is,
defense is shit. No defense at all. But go on.
The thing I disliked the most about him is, look, he gave it a good go, like they say in Britain. But what I really disliked about him was the mustache.
Oh,
if you're gonna have a mustache, have a goatee or something too. But just the mustache itself, man, it's not the 1970s anymore. You gotta grow up.
It almost look like a porn star, right?
Yeah,
like
look
fucking
a corrupt cop.
A corrupt cop.
Or a fireman. Yeah, he looked like a fireman, a Brazilian fireman.
Hey, but now I heard a little bit of the show you guys were doing at night, the post-fight show.
That shit show.
Yeah. So, does Castaño have a chance against Charlo, Jermel Charlo?
Yeah, of
good
course
chance.
He does. Yeah, of course he does. Yeah, I mean, look, just quickly before I get onto that, before anyone tried to say anything, I think you believe Pigeon started shouting at everyone, saying was interrupted him when was all silent. That's what started that. The guy's just a fucking lunatic. But as for Charlo, Charlo's a favourite in my eyes, but Castaño's sort of one of them sort of guys. If you take him lightly, if you're not trained properly, if you're not fit, he's gonna snatch your soul from you, and that's a tough fight for anybody. I think he's one of them guys. He's very like Madonna-like. I saw a lot of Madonna in him, but I think he's better than Madonna technically. His footwork's a lot better as well. But I think he's got that Madonna sort of style where he just swarms you and he just throws everything at you. And Madonna's that guy that finds people out. Did he? He's the one that found Broner out in the end. You know, so
Madonna could have that same type of.
That's right. You got to have that like fight in you.
All right. Did we lose everybody?
No, I'm here.
Okay. What the fuck? There was like silence.
Yeah.
People in
By
the
the way,
chat.
this was Stu saying Maidana or Madonna? It sounded like he was saying Madonna.
Madonna,
innit? Bad sound, man. All them bloody donations you get, you think you bloody upgrade your soundboard.
Come on now, wait a minute.
I'm just disgusted that you're standing there smirking away. I'm just disgusted that you're standing there smirking away.
Look, tell Pigeon if he fucking comes back on and shows some manners, he can come back on. I'm not about kicking people off, but he's acting like a fucking retard. I'm not having it, man.
Right.
Show some manners, Pigeon.
And I'm not. And trust me, he's the last person I run. I run from no man. I've sat here and debated in my own car. I've sort of like had to do Bruce Lee in fucking Enter the Dragon, where he's had to fight about 50 people.
Yeah.
Nunchuckers, you know what I mean? And I've still had to, you know, I'm frightened of no man when it comes to battles on here. So no, bring Pigeon back, show some manners, and you can be here.
Pigeon, you can come back if you want.
You come back, Pigeon. Just behave yourself, Pigeon.
Don't drink.
So, what's your opinion? What's your opinion on this fight? Then, recognize. Didn't get your view of the
Which one?
Teixeira versus Castano fight. How did you see
No,
that one?
I pretty much agree with you. I think that if you lined him up 10 times, I think he beats him 10 times.
Yeah.
Castano is an inside fighter. His work rate is really high because he has great condition, and I think Teixeira is one of those guys that doesn't fight. He doesn't fight his height. He's got long arms. He fucking he kind of limits himself the way trying to fight on the inside. He should be trying to. He did some good work when he used the jab in spots. I wouldn't even say in rounds. I'm going to say in spots. He showed that
I think,
he showed that he could have given Castaño a lot more problems, but that's not in him. That's not how he fights.
Yeah. I think with Teixeira, I think you can see he's just stuck. He's a fighter that can only fight one pace. He didn't change things up, and it got very predictable at times. Very telegraphed with his body shots as well. Every time he threw a big body shot, he was getting cut with a big hook himself. It was just. I think the best work he was doing probably were 1-2s and out of there. You've got to be the one. Basic stuff is going to be the way to beat Castano when you've got that sort of reach and range. I just think he's just not for his attributes he's got for his size. I just don't think he's very good at getting away from these guys. You should be able to keep these guys off you, at least with your jab, or at least with your footwork. Look at the size of you, man, and you just can't get away from these guys. Slow footwork, and every time he'd run, every time he sort of like set his feet, he was getting swarmed. It was just you could see it in his face. What the fuck have I got to do to get this guy off me? Just not schooled enough in defence for me. I mean, it looks all pretty on the eye. His left hand when he's throwing that that right hand jab, he's coming from the waist. He's got his right hand down. It's just defensively very poor for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the fight between him and Charlo's a good one. I do think that Charlo. I give Charlo the edge. I give Charlo the significant edge. I think he beats him. But the one thing I was talking with, we were talking. It was me, BDA, and I want to say D Jeff. D Jeff is probably right in the sense that Charlo could blow him out. I'm not saying he can't, but I wouldn't sleep on Castaño. Castaño is if you're having a bad night, bro, that's not the guy you want to. If you're having an off night, let's just say you came in well prepared, great shape, but things ain't clicking. You don't want that to happen with Castaño. He got outwork you.
Yeah, Castaño's good, bro. Listen, he's not one of those guys that you can sleep on, to be honest. So I agree with what you just said.
Yep.
So are you here? Are you here? Are you going to be normal then, Pigeon? You're not going to fucking go off on one of your psycho rants now. You're going to talk to boxing.
Chill out, bro. Listen. I know you got a white Audi, bro. I know you got a white Audi, bro. But come on, bro. Now carry on. I'm going to be all right.
He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, put the Conor McGregor whiskey down. Go make a nice Kenco coffee and chill, bro. Right.
Yeah, man.
Warren, let's go. I just want to get back. We'll get back onto this fight in a minute. I just want to get back to Warrington. I know we did it last night. We talked about it. But anyone else got anything to add to Josh Warrington? Because, like I said, this is a guy that gave up his belt, took this fight, and it's one of them where he's gone right to the bottom of the queue. Right, and where does Warrington go from here? And I'll ask the panel. I'll start with Recognize. Go ahead, Billa.
I mean, listen, I would try to get the rematch if I was him, even if he's got to do it somewhere else. But just try to go for the rematch. He's seasoned, he's polished, and all that. And I think what happened was I didn't see the fight, but I heard BDA and Bucho talking about it, and I think you even mentioned this, Stu, that when somebody matches his work rate, and I guess they have a little bit more power than he does, he can get in trouble. He got stopped, right?
Oh,
I don't
right,
think-
yeah.
I don't really believe that he needs to go backwards. I think he just needs to, because he's not like a young fighter that needs to go backwards.
Look,
I think go for the rematch.
His size is he's not built to fight on a back foot. Just not built for it.
No, he's not built for that.
Yeah, I think he has improved though. I've seen improvements in the guy. He's been a little bit smarter when he's coming in. I think, like I said, he's very like Madonna, but I think he's actually better than Madonna. The resume might tell you differently, but technically, I think he's a lot better fighter than Madonna was.
Absolutely. Listen, Maidana, I think he's a little bit overhyped because of what he did against Mayweather. But I think that's more of exposing Mayweather a little bit more than Maidana being,
he had the perfect
boxer.
style to give Mayweather a hard fight.
Yeah.
He had that little stutter step come in, how he kind of acts like he's going to come and then he pauses for that 1 second and then goes, not even a second. He pauses for like a millisecond.
You know who did that for a little bit? Good point. You know who did that a little bit? Victor Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz, that's right. He did.
But don't you think as well, when Teixeira was trying to get out of there, even when he was getting out there, he was swarming him, hitting him with a big shot. Do you know what I mean? He just couldn't get away from him. And it's some of the punch selection from Castano was, I thought, was very good. I was quite impressed. It's all well and good coming forward, being a brawler, but you got to do it. You got to do it in a smart way, and you got to be technically sound with your punching. And I thought he was all that. Obviously, what Recognize said, I think when you fight like that, you're going to come against a big boxer puncher that can punch, and that's going to be a problem for him. Someone like Jamel Charlo, that's a prime example.
I think that's why I'm going with. I'm comfortably going to go with Jamel Charlo, but I still say this too. Charlo has to be on his P's and Q's. His stamina has to be up to par. He's got to be crisp with those punches. Make him think about coming in. He does that. He wins the fight easy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he's the sort of guy that he's going to snatch souls. He's going to be the guy. If you're not ready, he's going to find you out.
He's going to find you out. Exactly.
Can I make a comment? Can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
A quick comment. All right. Listen. Jamal Charlo, what is he now? He's like nearly fucking 30-odd years old. He's fought no Hall of Famers. His best wins against Tony Harrison, who went life and death with. Listen.
Yeah, but the thing is, Hall of Fame.
I know you say the thing is, but there's no Hall of Famers, bro. He's fought no one.
Pigeon, you don't get in the Hall of Fame until you retire. So who's going to fight retired Hall of Famers? No one's fought.
Yeah, but he's got listen, he's got no Hall of Famers on his record. Charlo 0, Stu. He's got 0 on there.
But my point is, nobody in boxing right now has a Hall of Fame on their record, because to be in the Hall of Fame, you have to be retired.
Got to be retired,
yeah.
But I get what he's saying.
But he still has. Jamel has some good names for who is in that division. You can't really.
But he doesn't. Name me 5. Name me 1.
All right, hold on. So I think I understand what Pigeon is saying. It's like, for example, Leonard beat Duran. That's a Hall of Famer, yeah. So we can't really, like you guys say on Discord, you can't really tell who's gonna be on the Hall of Fame yet.
No, you can. You can tell. You can tell.
Well,
when you get to 30, 31 years old, you can tell.
You're right. So no, but what I'm saying is, has Charlo fought anybody who might be eventually in the Hall of Fame?
Who's got a pulse? Who's got a pulse? They haven't even got a pulse, these guys.
I mean,
I'm not.
Is Harrison going to be in the Hall of Fame? No.
Harrison wouldn't even get into the Hall of Shame, to be honest with you.
Look, it's all well and good people saying let Pigeon talk, but I was putting Pigeon right. It's no good saying what Hall of Famer has he fought, and then there's. Look, this is our show, right? I know you guys don't give a shit because you don't come on here and talk. Not you, Pigeon. I'm not talking about Pigeon. I'm not talking about
Pigeon.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro.
All right. That's it.
Get this fucking clown off my show now. I swear to God, I'll come off the show. Get that
I don't know what
fucking
his
clown off my show,
problem
man.
is today. He's out
I
of
wasn't
control.
even talking about this fucking clown. What I'm saying is, this is a show, right? This is our show. This is our channel we've built. And I don't want it to turn into a fucking laughing stock. And when you got people like Pigeon talking about what Hall of Fame was he for, I mean, I can't sit here and let that happen. Standards. I mean, I must be the only one that's got standards around it. This fucking guy, what does he bring? Nothing. Look how he just turned when I wasn't even talking about him. All I was saying about it was talking to the chat. At the end of the day, Pigeon's going to come on here, talk boxing, and pretend he's some sort of panelist. I mean, how the fuck did he get a panel? Did he win it in a Happy Meal or something? BDA giving out panelist jobs in Happy Meal.
He's on StreamYard. He's on Stream. He's not on Discord.
Well, at the end of the day, right? It's about standards. This fucking guy, man.
Yeah. By the way, there's a difference between Discord and StreamYard. You know, StreamYard, come and go, limited time.
StreamYard for the people that are like overseas, right? That's what you
also. Yeah, also.
Yeah,
You know what,
look,
people, you should call in, man. There's a phone line for a reason. You know, if you don't live, if you live in the US,
he should be bringing the Samaritans about his fucking drink problem, not coming on here talking boxing with me.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the
Stu
guy.
makes a good point.
Okay, did I give him another chance? Butcho, did I give him another chance? Did I say come back on? Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. People,
Look, I don't want these people are the ones that have ruined our show over the years, or tried to. They haven't succeeded. But we've had clowns like this guy who thinks we're just a fucking safe space for him to come and act like a retard when he's drunk. No,
and I remember, like when we started this channel, like we didn't really want to kick anybody out because we didn't want to go the LDBC route. But some people are just out of control, man, and sometimes we need to kick them out, you know, or time them out.
It's not just that. Look at the hard work you guys put into this channel, man, to build it. Why drop the standards? This guy doesn't know boxing. Why is he on our panel? This guy, all right, if he wants to call in and have his little 30 seconds or a minute, yeah, fine. No one's got a problem with that. But don't have this guy on a panel when I'm doing a show, because we've built up a very high standard on our show. We've got one of the best panels around. We've got all sorts of people listen to our show. It's a good crack as well. We're not just a boring channel. But we still have to have standards. Once you let your standards drop, mate, your fucking channel starts to deteriorate. Look at Ellie Setback. That guy's got more subs than most people. His channel is it's a joke. That's what happens when you let standards go.
Do you have any standards? Do you have any standards?
That's right. That's a good point. Standards.
Stu makes a good point though about Jamel's resume. It's like, look, not too many fighters have Hall of Famers or they have guys who look like they're prospects to be Hall of Famers in their resume. But I will say, Jamel Charlo's being real quick.
Go ahead, sorry.
Jamel Charlo beat Tony Harrison that's a good win. First of all, he lost the first fight. Me personally, it was close enough that it could have gone either way. He came back. He was losing the second fight, in my opinion, and knocked him out. So that's a sign of a guy who's a good fighter. And then, look, the chips fall where they may, right? He was willing to fight the winner of Julian Williams and the Dominican kid, whose name I'm drawing a blank on right now. But the Dominican kid wins, so he fought the Dominican guy when he was hot, not when he's coming off a loss. No, he fought the guy when he was pretty hot. He knocks out Julian Williams. He gets in there with Charlo. Charlo knocks him out with a body shot. So I think Charlo is very proven. And I agree with Stu, this Hall of Fame thing, that how does that work out exactly when a guy's only fought in one division like Charlo? He's only fighting in one division, so he's fighting the best guys or the next guy up. So
it's a little bit like Golovkin. That's a good point. It's like Golovkin. Remember people before he fought Jake?
Right.
Name me a Hall of Famer that he's fought. Like, come on, like guys. This is people.
This is what I'm trying to say. And this guy's in the chat, right, are trying to say that this guy, that Pigeon, knows more than I do. Look, I'm not pretending to know everything, but I forgot more than that guy knows. Look, if these guys that are saying they bring Pigeon back, these guys they're not here for boxing. They're just here to have a laugh, aren't they? And listen to fucking clowns. So these are. I don't care for them sort of people, whether they listen or not. So Pigeon is not. Look, Pigeon, he had his chance twice to bring something to the show, and look, maybe next time I would have brought him back again on my channel, but on my show, sorry, but never again am I having that guy in there after that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like it, switch off.
Good point. Good point. About the Charlo thing. Listen, we're just talking about whether Charlo can beat Castaño or not. We're not talking about his legacy. Like, will Charlo make it into the Hall of Fame or anything like that? I mean, who knows? Maybe not. But so far, he's beaten whatever it's at 154.
You know, I forgot to
Yeah.
ask. You know what I forgot to ask? Pigeon. Does he
Yeah.
think Castaño is a future Hall of Famer? Is that what he's saying?
Well, no, he's gonna say no. His
Right, so
point was
then
that
that means Jamel Charlo could. There's nothing Jamel Charlo could do then.
no, I think his point is
In
yeah,
his
exactly.
opinion.
Well, you know what? I mean, if he cleans up the whole division and has multiple title defenses at 154, then maybe we
Yeah,
could.
he's doing something.
Yeah, he's doing
I
something.
agree. Like, look, he so far, I'll give somebody credit no matter what, right? So far, he looks like he's on the right path. He rematched Tony Harrison and he stopped him. Props to him right there. Then he goes in there and he fights the next guy up. You know, one of those fights that the chips fall where they made Julian Williams versus the banana, whatever the fuck the kid's name is. Damn, I'm drawing a blank with his name today. That kid, the Dominican kid, knocks out Julian Williams. What does Charlo do? He says, "I'll fight that guy next," because he beat Julian Williams, who I really wanted to fight. But okay, the kid won. He pulled off the upset. I'll fight him, and he stops him with a body shot.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gonna fight Castaño next, I think he's on the right path. You know, like he's just on the right path he's continuing the path of fighting the best fighters.
Look, the thing is, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like Charlo's got the best resume in boxing. I wouldn't have argued if Pigeon had made that argument, right? You know, then if someone said, "Oh, well, look who he's," I can accept that because you know it's not the best resume around. But say, what Hall of Famer is he for? You know, you name one. I'm like, well, you could say that about any fight. You know, that was my point with that. Look, Charlo is the best guy in that division for me right now. I think it's a weak division. It's just one of the divisions I've just never really got up for. And I think Charlo, I'd like to see Jamel move up, have a couple more fights there, and then move up to 160 and see what you can do with them boys. Because I just think being the best guy in that division, I just don't think it's going to move you on to that next level of fame sort of thing. It's a poor division. Middleweight division is like a prestigious division, isn't it? It's just got a lot more weight behind it.
Pigeon wants to come back in, apparently.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, but letting him back, it's like one of them drunks that wants to keep going back to rehab.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, it's your fucking show, man. I mean, do whatever you want.
The thing is, I'd say come back, but then he's going to fucking abuse me again. He's going to kick off when I'm not even talking to him. Nah, man, he's going to have to be punished, isn't it, man? He's going to have to take his punishment. Like I said, this is not a place where people just come here drunk, ranting and raving at the panelists for nothing, man. I wasn't even talking to the guy and he still kicked off. Nah, man. Not today, Pigeon. Go and get yourself some rest.
All right, that's
We're
it.
talking boxing.
It's through show, Pigeon. You read the title.
Listen, back to Josh Warrington. Quickly. Butcho.
Yeah.
I saw the fight.
Can Josh Warrington bounce back from that?
Yes, sir. No matter what's gonna, if he fight, he has to fight. Listen, he has no choice. He has to fight Lara again. And he can beat him if he starts boxing a little bit more smart. I mean, you're not gonna do the same thing and just get into a brawl with a guy that has more power than you. And you know, just be smart. And if he can win a decision, I believe, and then he can maybe bounce back from that. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it was an off night or maybe that's it, man. Maybe he's losing it. But that's why we need a rematch.
Yeah, look. The thing is, the thing with boxing is it's just when you're in the moment, you've got to make the best of it. I think when you get to when you know you're on the top of your game, I think that's when you got to take the big fights. And he should have gone after the big fights before that. I mean, and then he's ended up fighting a guy that nobody knows, but he's a dangerous puncher. He's got nothing to gain from winning the fight, but he's got everything to lose. And last night, he lost everything. For me, he can come back because I don't think he's, like I said, he's not one of them fighters that's got like aura about him where he was unbeatable. He looked unbeatable. No one ever thought that no one could. You know, Josh Warrington was unbeatable. He was always there to be beat. But so he's not like a mental thing where he'll have a mental breakdown like Wilder has, because Wilder's his whole gimmick was on, the baddest man on the planet, knocks everyone
It
out
was
when he touches
it was
him.
a fake persona. It was the fake
That's
persona
right, bro.
where Warrington is more of a guy understood that boxing. When you fight the way he does, you understand that one day you could lose. Like even if it's not on your mind, fight night, because it shouldn't be, right? Like you shouldn't be in there saying, there's a chance I could lose this fight.
He can come back. I mean, why not? People are making it out to be as if he got destroyed like Wilder. He was in there, man. He just didn't fight us. He just didn't fight a smart fight. I mean, at some point you realize, you know what, this guy's tougher than I expected. He hits harder than me. Let's switch it up a little bit. But maybe he can't. So we'll see. Rematch is the only option.
I thought Warrington looked good when he was actually like letting his hands go. He looked quite good when he was letting his hands go. It's just
he wasn't hurting him
I
that
thought
much,
everything was
man.
wrong about him. He just didn't look as strong on his legs. It just looked one of them where, it was, like I said, it was a bit like Wilder when he fought Fury in the second fight. He got hit with a big shot and just never sort of got his legs back, and he just didn't look stable on his feet for me. And I think it was a matter of time before Lara got to him. Lara's, like I said, a big, strong guy, just methodical, just keeps coming forward, landing them big shots, but poor defensively. Another guy that if he doesn't clean up on a few things, then he's going to be in trouble one day. Very Jaime Munguia-like defensively, do you know what I mean? Just chin in the air constantly.
All right, we got a few phone calls too, so we're going to take them. 917. You're on the air, 917. Jesus Christ.
I'm calling in to wish Josh Warrington a good recovery from the hospital. And Kike Martinez got robbed, yo. You guys saw that? 118, 111. What's good with that?
Wait, who got?
Did you see the undercard of the Jojo Diaz fight? The guy, the Spaniard, Kike Martinez.
Yeah, you Americans know all about robberies, don't you?
I mean, robberies happen all the time. But anyway, that was messed up. And also, I thought
Yeah,
Jojo
listen,
Diaz.
is that Dave?
Jojo Diaz.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I think Jojo Diaz. I think he edged it out at the end. I think towards the end, I think he beat him up towards the end. He lost like the first, like the beginning rounds, but I think towards the end he stepped it up, and I think he should have walked away with the victory. But then he also didn't make.
I thought he edged it.
So it's.
Hey Dave, I thought he edged it too. I thought Jojo edged it in the end.
Yeah,
it was a close fight.
Dave, what's your thoughts on the fight last night with Teixeira
Castaño?
All I saw was somebody with Castaño with his high activity rate. He was just throwing and landing, and Teixeira he didn't really do much. I was kind of bored, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was
kind of sloppy
for me too.
Castaño. What about his offense?
It just stunk up desperation.
How many rounds did you give him, Stu? I gave him like one, maybe two at best. That's being fucking.
Like I said, the thing is, I wasn't really scoring it like that because the way I saw it was just one man running away from getting his ass whooped, sort of thing, and trying to fight his way off him, sort of thing. It was never any. He had no ring generalship. It was just him on the retreat, trying to find himself a minute, take a breather, or trying to get out of a bad situation. He's constantly on the retreat, constantly having to think. I think it just got too much for him in the end. It just
on the retreat with his hands.
The bad thing about it, Castaño was actually hitting him with big shots to the side of the face, through the side of the gloves, and he looked like he was going over, but then Castaño hit him with a left hook or something and bring him back round again. I mean, I don't know why he just didn't carry on hitting him with that shot, because he was ready to go. It was like Castaño sort of brought him back round again with another shot. It was just a strange one, really, where he sort of like kept finding a second win and hanging in there, but he never looked like winning the fight ever for me. So
absolutely.
I
never saw him.
I only score fights when it's close or it's a cage foul. Yeah,
it was
that
so
one one-sided.
It was so one-sided, Stu, that I could see it. I have no problem somebody having it a shutout you couldn't give this kid no more than 2 rounds, and that's being nice. I think giving him 2 rounds.
Yeah.
All right, David. Anything else?
Can I just get back onto Kiko for David?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know David
came
mentioned the
into the
Kiko
Castaño
Martinez
fight
fight.
with
No,
high
I'm not going to
expectations.
sit here and pretend.
And
I'm not going to sit here and pretend.
Go ahead, Stu.
Well,
Go on, Dave. Go ahead.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that was good judging. It was dreadful. I mean, look, what can I say? I mean, even Eddie Hearn came out in the interview and he sort of like stole the limelight off Barrett. It was Barrett's moment. All right, whether you thought he robbed him or not, it was his moment. And Hearn stole it off him to moan about poor judging in the UK and saying, look, I'm trying to get big names over here and they're doing this. And, you know, sort of saving face. So if Hearn's doing that, you know it's a bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. If Hearn is doing that shit, it's a bad look. He saw that. I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I heard it was bullshit.
Another one. Barrett, I just couldn't keep Martinez off him. Look, too many fighters trying to look slick and pretty, throwing the jab from the waist, but they're not thinking about the basics: planting your feet, getting popped behind your shots, making sure you got your hands up. I mean, it's just simple stuff. Sometimes boxing can be very simple, and some of these guys try and make it look slick and beautiful, pleasing on the eye. But they're the ones that be fighting like that will get you beat up if you're not world class at it. You know what I mean? When I see these fighters using the shoulder roll and just getting bashed up, well, it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Butcher, I just got to pop into the kitchen.
All right.
For 5 minutes.
But you know, at the same time, it's your promotion, right? At the same time, maybe he was responsible for having those referees. But you know, I was heated because I don't like watching stuff like that. Just like when remember when a few weeks ago Bob Arum came out, the Australian guy Maloney, he was clearly robbed, and then Bob Arum was all
word up, bro.
Maybe that was a little different because those weren't his people. But yesterday, you know, when Eddie Hearn initially came out, I'm like, oh, you know, good for him, you know, defending the fighters. But then later, yeah, like you guys said, like, you're running the promotion, so, you know, those were your officials, you know. But, yeah, I mean, boxing, they got to clean this stuff up. Like, you know, stop. It's going to put people off to the sport if you're going to rob a guy, you know, just in broad daylight. It's not good.
What can I tell you? Dave. This is nothing new.
Dave,
you know what I mean?
They never get it
but,
right.
You know, it's nothing new. Nonetheless, I'm still gonna watch, but you know, it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Listen, obviously we are boxing fans over here, and we've managed to just get past all this bullshit. You know, the robberies, the corruption. I mean, it's gonna be there. It's always been there. So it sucks, but what can you do about it at this point?
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
that's
all I've noticed.
I mean, it's like that's what I get tired of talking about. It's always
the
been
one
there.
thing I noticed is that there's always fucked up judging. Like,
I mean, the judging.
Sometimes it's so obvious, man.
Can they actually fix it? Maybe if they add more judges, but then I was thinking about that, but I was like, this isn't gonna make a difference. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with the system today. 3 judges, right? You got 3 of them. Just have them score the fight the right way. That's all.
I mean, you get Adelaide Bird. Who is she? How did she manage to become a?
I don't know. I would say
judge, but
I would say because she has a vagina, but I'm not even too sure about that.
Her husband is a referee, right? And
yeah,
she has connections.
Like some type of connections to. Yeah.
But whatever. What fuck that shit. David, anything else?
Yeah, take the next call. Thank you.
All right, he hung up, but thank you for calling in, man.
Peace, Dave.
All right, goodbye.
All right, and okay, we have Pigeon that wants to come back in. Pigeon. All right,
Relax,
Pigeon. Listen,
Pigeon.
I can't let you back in, man. Stu's in control today, and he just went to the kitchen.
He went to go get some cheese and toast.
Some cheese and toast. Spaghetti on toast. Some English delicacy. I don't know, man. Michael in the chat says, guys, you should know better. The promoters make the call. Judges don't go rogue. Yeah.
I think so, too. I agree with that. I think that's why when Bob Arum was like, this is horrible what they did to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
And yeah. It's like, stop lying. You knew what
Yeah,
was gonna happen.
you
faggot.
serious? This guy has no connections at all, has no control over the judges. Who does then? I mean, no. We're not gonna
Yeah.
take that bullshit. We're not.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but
Like he tries to act like the Lomachenko scorecards, the 11-1, the 9-3, and maybe even somewhat the 8-4, but he tries to act like, oh, I had nothing to do with that.
yeah, no. I mean, Bob Arum. I mean, if you're Bob Arum, who do you want to win that fight, Lopez or Lomachenko?
Yeah, Lopez. It
I
makes
mean,
sense in a
it's
business standpoint,
business-wise.
And I think Lopez won. I thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
You know?
But he wasn't. What was that scorecard? Was it 119?
119, 109,
Oh,
which is 11-1.
no.
117 to 111, which is 9 rounds to 3, and 116, 112. Now that's a little bit closer, but I even think that's giving Teofimo all the benefit of the doubt rounds, right? Like to me, there was like 2 swing rounds that could have like really went either way. That's saying I'm gonna give it to Teofimo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them both, which is again, to me, it's not a way off score, but the 9 rounds to 3 and 11-1, that's just ridiculous, bro. He didn't win by that much.
Exactly. Okay, I was gonna say something else, but since we have a phone call, we're gonna take the phone call. 226, you're on the air. 226.
Oh man.
Yeah, hello, fellas. This is Jimmy calling.
My
What's
fucking
going
god,
on?
we can barely hear you, man.
We can barely hear you, you Ben.
Hold. We can't really get. Hold on a second.
God damn it.
Is that any better?
A little
Is that
bit.
any better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
A little better. Go ahead.
A little better.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
sir.
this is Jimmy. This is Jimmy calling. Just wanted to call on his show.
Night Slugger Sam, come on,
just,
man. Come the
listen.
fuck on. Jeez.
What's this fucking thing?
Come on, cut the crap. Let's go. What do you want?
Let's go, like I said. Talk to us.
What's the discussion today? What are we discussing? The judges?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, judges.
The corruption in boxing?
The corruption. Yes. Yes, man. You've been listening to the show. Okay, come on.
He's just repeating himself. That's all he's doing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I'm serious, fellas. I'm wanting to talk about it. What are we discussing? Is it just the judges, like how we can?
What do you think about it?
I think if
What
we
do you
get
think about
six,
these?
I think if we get 6 judges going, that might help a little bit. But I think 6 judges. But I think 6 judges can all be corrupted as well, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's how you can have 20, but if they all suck.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could just have like. I think there's nothing wrong
fellas,
with the system.
fellas, let's be honest over here. Fellas, let's be honest. Jesus had 12 disciples, and right, some of them, or most of them, kind of messed up, right?
well,
Yeah.
Judas, I guess. I mean,
Oh, Judas. Yeah, some of them turned. Yeah,
What are we talking
Well, some
about
of them,
now?
yeah.
What are we talking about now? Just come back.
we got Slugger Sam. I mean Jimmy.
one was
on the line.
one denied Jesus 3
Oh,
times.
Slugger Sam on the line.
Yeah, your favorite friend.
No.
Okay.
Oh no. My name is Jimmy.
Hey,
My name
boys,
is Jimmy.
when you're talking, cover your mouth, yeah.
Yeah, that's the smart. Look,
You can't get the lip. Just in case the lip readers. Just in case Sammy's got the lip readers watching us.
226. Sam, are you wearing a? So are you wearing a mask?
Yeah, are you wearing a wire?
You know, like Joe Pesci. You know, like Joe Pesci and Frank in fucking a casino when they're talking near the coffee shop. They're covering their mouths.
Yeah, like soccer players do that shit, man.
Yeah.
Wait, is there something wrong with my phone? Is you guys can't hear me that well?
Okay, listen. First of all, you're not Jimmy. Cut the crap, Slugger. Why are you calling yourself Jimmy today? What's going on?
It was Frankie yesterday. Now it's Jimmy today. Like, what's going on?
What do you guys talk?
Hey, we all know about Jimmy White. Paul Jay's another snitch.
Yeah, we know that you. We know that you
listen.
naming yourself after snitches.
Just,
Guys,
I'm joking about. Listen, I'm joking about the stick
Yeah.
string.
Can we get to boxing?
Yeah, we were just.
Let's
Well,
get to boxing.
You want to
Stu,
be mafia boy. I know that,
No,
but
fellas,
I'm just kidding.
Stu, take this
that's
to
what I'm
boxing.
saying. I want to talk boxing. I don't know
Okay.
who you guys are
What's
talking
this?
about,
What's
but yeah,
this accent?
like
wanna
I
talk
said, I
boxing.
think
wanna
I'm
talk
gonna hang up,
they should
man.
have. Huh?
I'm gonna hang up if you don't start talking boxing in like
Start
the next
talking
second.
I
boxing.
am. I just said. That's what I'm saying to you, Mr. BD. I'm saying I think they
Bucho.
should have at least 6 judges.
Mucho.
But in all honesty, I don't know if that's going to actually fix the problem because boxing
Nah.
is completely corrupted. You know, actually, what I think would be a better one, Mr. BDA, but I don't ever think it's going to get
Bucho.
approved, was if we can
Bucho.
have. My apologies
No
about
problem.
that. I apologize.
No problem.
I apologize. But
I apologize.
I think the
Okay.
better one would be is if the fans at home can like somehow go online and do a poll test on who they think won the fight, and then
They used to do
maybe
that. They
within
used
an
to do
hour
that.
or something they collect all the polls, and then
Mhm.
that way, because guys like yourself and Mr. Recognize over here and Mr. Stu Little, you guys are real hardcore fanatics. You guys know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You know better than these judges. These judges, let's be honest, they're just looking for a payday. I'd rather
Yeah.
Hey,
listen to you guys.
Slugger.
I'd rather listen to your opinion.
The thing
You know
is,
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of these,
Slugger, no,
are old. These are from the old boys club. They're from the old boys club. A lot of them are in boxing when they've got no business in the sport.
Yeah.
And yes, look, us guys here, all of us here, we haven't obviously got professional career or a box rec to look at, but we understand the sport. You don't have to be involved with 60 wars to understand what a war is, or understand the sport and how to score a fight. I know for a fact, me, Butcher, and Recognize BDA, we would be a lot better judges than Adelaide Bird and some of these other fucking clowns. I mean, even the UK judges. I mean, who's the one that Larry O'Connell? He's fucking terrible. He is, man. Is it Larry O'Connell? Something like that. I can't remember. I just don't get into the judges too much because they're nobodies and they don't deserve to be there half the time.
Well, Stu,
especially in the UK. I mean, some of the decisions I've seen lately has been really poor.
can I say something? Hold on, Slugger. Just for a question for everybody. Why can't we have the judges after the fight have some sort of like a press conference, just like the fighters, and have the judges explain why they saw the fight the way they saw it? And this is weird. Like, you can't talk to a judge. Why not? Like, he should be able to explain
By
it. There's nothing
design.
wrong with that. You're not influencing the fight,
but
hold on, you're not influencing
design,
anything because the fight already happened. So it's not like you're influencing the course of the fight just because you're talking to the judge. And you know what?
Yeah.
At some point,
The thing is,
Gonzalo.
though, Butcho,
Stu, hold on. Gonzalo, just to give an example, because Gonzalo actually contacted. We're not going to mention his name, but a judge, a well-known judge, to come on the show. But he said like, "Oh, I want pre-written questions." So I mean, what the fuck's the point of having him on the show if we're gonna have pre-written questions? I mean, what is some sort of fucking
yes,
joke?
boys. Look, a lot of them are yes, boys. And this is what I've always used the idea of having 5 judges, and the reason I say that is because all it takes is one crooked judge and one judge that just likes a different sort of style than another, and you've got a robbery on your hands, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just takes one crooked judge or one that's having a bad night. I think with 5, I just don't think to be corrupt. It's going to be hard to get 3 judges on side, isn't it?
Mhm.
2 might come along, 1, but 3 it's even harder. So just makes it harder for corruption to kick in, take backhanders and stuff, and it just sort of like weeds out the bad judging because 3 can cancel the other 2 clowns that got it wrong or something. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I'd look at it.
Yep. Slugger.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Slugger.
Can you hear me, fellas? Can you hear me?
Nah, man, your sound is really fucked up now.
Hold on. How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, better. Go ahead.
Better? Okay, no, I was just trying to say, Bucho. I think what you, like the press conference thing, I think it's a good idea, but the truth is, I think the judges would find a way to kind of like, not fabricate the story, but sugarcoat why they did what they did. And that's pretty much going to be the way they can get around it. Like that Bird bitch, that's the nicest thing I could say about her.
Yep.
When she judged the Triple G and Canelo fight. I'm a big fan of both fighters, but that first fight was clearly Triple G's win.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she would kind of somehow find some way to say, no, sorry, go ahead.
Adelaide Bird is in the pocket of Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I mean, she gave. Was it her that gave Canelo the win against Floyd?
Who was that though? That
I can't remember. Was it Adelaide Bird?
I'm gonna check.
I'm sure it was. I might have been wrong, but look,
they gave him I know whoever gave it was a draw.
Checking
they
it.
gave.
I got it. CJ Ross. CJ Ross. 114. 114.
CJ Ross. Well, another female. Look, these females, they're put there to obviously fill a quota system by the looks of it. I mean, they've got no business anywhere near a professional boxing ring, and especially Mal's game. I mean, it just makes me sick. Every time I turn sports on, I've got some fucking woman breaking it down, being an analyzer, commentator. You know, they're everywhere. I mean, just can't they have their sport and let us have our sport? You know what I mean? And these judges should be there. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a sexist, but they should be there.
If they're gonna have,
you know, some of these guys as well. You know, a lot of these judges they've never been in a fight in their lives. Half of them, they're just fat old men. Look like they've been spending most of their time on what's his name's little fucking ranch. Who's the one that got caught for nonsense? The girls, Epstein's fucking little ranch.
The island, Epstein Island.
Yeah, I mean, I think to get to get people off YouTube would be a great idea to use some of the judges. I think get a panel of YouTube judges. That'd be a lot. You get a lot fairer result than you would with some of these fucking corrupt guys that got in there now.
All right, the Slugger. Anything else?
Well, fellas, I kept saying I don't know who Slugger is. It's Jimmy, but I just want to say thanks for letting me call on the show. You guys are it's a great show. I think Mr. Recognize is a real nice gentleman, and I don't think anybody should mess with him.
I mean, Jimmy.
I just wanted to say that. And thank you, fellas, for letting me on. You guys have a good day.
Can you say that again?
Okay, Mr. Jimmy. Thank you for calling in.
Mr. Jimmy.
Rotations. Now we have the real Jimmy on the line. Jimmy!
What's happening, guys?
What's up? We're just talking corrupt judges.
We had a fake impersonator try to impersonate.
Yeah, I was listening to him in the car. I just got home and I was listening on the way in. I heard that. I was like, God, sounds like you, Slugger. But to chime in about the judges, man. See, the problem is too, there's no standardized testing. Depends on where you go get your license. You know what I mean? Like you're sanctioned by the state athletic commission, and there's no unified course they take. It's subjective. There's not enough criteria where, I mean, they say, well, you should, judge ring generalship, but like Stu said, women, and I'm not a sexist either, but I just was thinking the exact same shit he was saying. I was watching ESPN after the Super Bowl because I wanted to see what everybody was saying. And all these fucking women on there, right? This Chinese shit, like, you don't know fucking nothing about football. And you could tell she didn't. She had a cue cards in front of her. It just, you know what I mean? That really drives me nuts. But, there's too many people judging boxing just because they're told what to look for. If you need, like to Stu's point again, you need more ex-fighters judging. I don't see why more guys don't get it. I guess you have to make it financially more worth their while, I guess, because you have to start off low. I mean, picture if Triple G started judging and showing up the Golden Gloves somewhere would be a little awkward. But you know what I mean? And again, it's so but then there's certain things when it comes to like that Lomachenko Lopez card. I don't give a fuck if you've never watched a boxing match in your life. You couldn't not give him Lomachenko 1 round unless there was outward bias or they filled the car up before they even showed up at the fucking place. And I just want to say, I saw somebody's comment there, some facts dude or whatever. I'm sorry if I don't remember his name in the comments. He's kind of right though about what he's saying about, I don't understand why, and it's playing out more and more. A lot of people said that they wanted Lopez to win. I always found that odd because Lopez there's always been a thing with Lopez. Bob's always said he's been kind of difficult to deal with, and a lot of it has to do with his father. It's been difficult to deal with this kid. Whereas Lomachenko has been a dream maybe because of the limited language or whatever. Whatever he offers, there's never been a problem getting Loma into the ring. I mean, he just won the title right off Loma, and he's already like having a public war with Bob on Twitter during a fucking interview last night with Andre Ward and the guy from ESPN, publicly airing that, they're not on same terms and shit. So I just don't see that being the case.
Okay.
I wouldn't see why he would want Lopez where Lopez. Why would you want the more difficult dude to win? That's all. That's just my theory. I agree with that.
I thought maybe because he's younger, he's Latino.
He's already threatened to leave. He's pretty much threatened to leave.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he's going to go. I mean,
PBC.
I don't know. Anytime you deal with somebody's father.
You know what it is? You know what it is, Jimmy? Anytime you deal with this is what I've learned in business. When you get two characters, you get the character that's difficult to deal with, and the other guy that's, he might be strong opinionated, but he's willing to do what he has to do. The guy who's willing to do what he has to do, because this is what he chose to the business that he's in, they always kind of shit on that guy. You get what I'm saying? Like, not in it like, okay, it's this way, right? Not that they want to get rid of him. They're like, look, why not give Lopez a win? And, it's a close fight or whatever. We could do a rematch because I know the guy that's willing to do anything, or the guy that's not difficult to deal with, he's willing to be in that position where the younger guy, if he
that makes
loses,
sense. I hear what you're saying. That makes
you
sense.
get what I'm saying? So
no,
I'm
absolutely.
Diva,
it makes sense.
I'm the diva. It's like this. I'm the diva, Jimmy. You're the hardworking person. Me and you have great talent. It's just that I'm more difficult to deal with. They might try to please me more than you because you're not looking for, you're just looking to do things the right way, and that's it.
Right.
I just want to read some super chats quickly. Michael Poe, thank you for your contribution. He says, that's why it's getting hard to enjoy the sport because they don't even know. Sorry, you don't even know what you're watching anymore. It's a guessing game. Well, that's right, because you never know what you're going to get with the judges. Michael Poe, another contribution. Thank you. He says, I have told you guys how it's done. The problem is how you stop it. Real commission. Yeah. Or a national commission.
It's a bit like the WWE. When you're watching a match on that, it's like, you're thinking, I wonder who Vince has got winning this one. And that's how it's become with boxing, isn't it? I wonder who the promoter's got winning this one. I wonder who the station's got winning this one. It's just, I want to set my dog is going to wind me up in a minute. Well, come back.
All right.
It's a question of money, though, with the commission, the national commission. I believe that's who he's talking about, getting a commission to oversee all 50 states. You can have your local state, but one to have the end-all, say-all. Who finances it? Think about it, right? Who puts up the millions? At least you would have to have in working capital to even begin that. You know who would do it? The government. That means the government would start making policy. And do we really want the government more involved in boxing? You know what I mean?
Make it even worse.
Next, they'll be wearing headgear.
Look, it's a thing with boxing. There's just no standards to who can be involved in the sport. There's no resumes. You can't just go to in any job, any industry. You can't just turn up without any knowledge and expect to get a top job there. Only in boxing can you turn up with no knowledge whatsoever and be judging a world-class fight. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like I said, it's an old boys club. It's who you know, isn't it?
What's the bitch you did the GGG Canelo fight that she's married to the black referee? Yeah, come on. Listen, not just in boxing, man. Like fucking Dana White has just said some pretty horrible shit about her publicly, like really bad. Like they I think they fined him. Nevada State Athletic Commission fined him, but whatever. He still ripped into her. She's terrible.
I mean, she should have been fired. Forget about reprimanding her. Like, she should have been fired. Seriously, like that's a reason to fire a person.
Don't ever hire her again. Just don't hire her.
Like she should have been fucking impeached. That's what she should have been.
No, right. Absolutely. This can't go.
Yeah, impeached.
Go ahead.
Look, my problem is incompetence in boxing. If it's not the judges, it's the ref. It's always something, isn't there? I mean, it's just the pure incompetence of people in boxing. It's like sort of no professionalism left anymore. mean, that's why Eddie Hearn seems to be doing well. He's the only sort of guy that's quite professional about his work. The rest is just sloppy rubbish. I mean, even the promotion. Just look at the promotion. Is there any hard work put into a lot of these promotions? I mean, look, especially in America. I mean, it's dead. Some of the promotions over there, man. They don't even try and sell these fighters anymore.
Nah,
they're just not trying to sell them anymore.
Stu, we have a phone call. Hold on, D, because we have a phone call and we have to prioritize this. Stu, we have a phone call. 773 on the air. 773.
Kevin. Stu, before I make my point, I want you to take a deep breath, calm down.
Oh boy!
And don't have a heart attack, all right? Just do some yoga for a second. Just relax. Don't get all upset. I know you like to get emotional every time someone has an opinion that's different.
Yeah, because I'm sick of you. You're a fucking whiny little bitch. I'm sick of you.
Here he goes. You ready?
Your voice,
even
your voice annoys me. Honestly, even your voice. Hearing your voice makes my stomach churn. It really does.
Here he goes. Oh, Stu. You know, it's funny. I was listening to this show, and you said nationality. You said, "Oh, who cares about nationality? That don't matter." Yeah, when has nationality never mattered in boxing? Yeah, nationality never matters, huh? That's just the most ridiculous thing you've ever said, probably.
Well, anyway, I'm talking about. Of course, it doesn't matter if you like boxing. You in it to watch boxing. When you've got a show, when you've got a channel, you have to be down the middle a little bit. You can't just be a fanboy. Otherwise, you've got a channel that you're just fanboying on, and no one's going to take it serious. You have to look and sort of like have to take that nationalism away, and especially racism. Well, I've never picked a fighter for the colour of his skin ever in my life, and I'll continue to do that. So yeah, I agree. I'll stick by what I said. You have become very well, you've become a nationalist lately. I don't know where it's come from. You're like Michael Stott. You change every week, you do. But yeah, I mean, look. It's just a few people. I wouldn't say most people come on and say, "Oh yeah, this country, that country." It's become a race thing in boxing recently, isn't it? It's not become a national thing. But yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't matter to me. When Canelo beat the shit out of the Brits, did I come on here crying about it? No, I come on here and praise Canelo for what the fighter is. I just want to see decent fighting because my life don't change if a British guy wins. I'm not going to get up in the morning. My life's going to be a lot better. There's going to be more money in the bank. You know, there's going to be a hotter wife in my bed. It ain't going to happen. So
nationalism's important in amateur because you're representing your country. That's the only time that matters. In the pros, I don't think it should matter.
Of course, it's important anyway. It's important anyway, Jimmy. But my point is, it doesn't
matter
to me.
Not in pros. Not in pros, though.
It's not important, man. It's not important to me.
No, not in pros.
I don't see it when two guys are fighting. I don't see it as a country versus another country. I see it as two warriors fighting. That's the way I look at it.
I like when they play it up a little. I like when they play the Mexican against the Puerto Rican thing. I think that's
there's a little fun to it. There's a little mystique to that. Yeah.
But when you just cut it across the line, I still saying Steve saying just going. I'm sorry, I can't hear that kid, Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
It matters because it comes down to promotion. It comes down to who gets promoted better, who gets more opportunities. That's why it matters. When you look at guys from England, they always get great opportunities. They always get title fights when they maybe didn't deserve it. They always get big opportunities. You look at Canelo. You look at guys like Canelo. Who does he fight? He wants to fight the British guys because they got bring in a lot of money. Because they bring in a lot of money, and that's just a fact. It's undeniable. So that's why.
Go ahead, D. Go ahead,
guys.
Go ahead, D.
Have you ever heard of the PBC? That is an American freaking network that's full of guys that describes everything you just said.
Thank you.
Cut it out, fam. Cut it out.
Cut! And Kevin, explain why do you think English guys get preferential treatment? Why do you think that is?
Because they bring in, it's a big sport over there. They love their boxing over in England. It's one of the top sports. In America, we got basketball, football, baseball, hockey. So many other things. In England, there's like three major sports. Hey,
listen
they got soccer, they got
typical ignorant comment. Typical ignorant comment.
Who says?
No, listen. Let me speak because guess what? It's my show. Typical ignorant comment from Kevin. You know, yet again, it's all about you. No one outside your border watches baseball. One sec, I got someone at the door. You're lucky, Kev, because you're about to get ripped a new one.
The
Dude, you
dog
don't
saved
even
you, Kevin.
understand my point. That's my point. Because in America, we got a bunch of different sports we focus on. That's why boxing isn't as big. In England, it is big. It's a huge sport. It's one of the top three
He's right
sports.
about
No,
that.
it's because
Kevin
they
is
promote.
right.
But England has a
No,
lot
hold
of
on, hold on,
sports
hold on.
too,
No,
man.
it's because they promote. They actually promote boxing over there. Unlike the United States, it's a shit show, man.
When it comes to
It's-
boxing, there's more in the pros, Jimmy. There's more nationalism in the UK, especially when it comes. They like foreign fighters or what's foreign to them, but they really support their fighters, and so that's why in the UK you have the culture of boxing. It's big over there. Kevin is actually right. You come to America, I think boxing is the fifth, if that. It's the
Not
fifth
even.
most watched sport in America.
No. 11th.
Okay,
Yeah,
11. I
I
was being.
believe
You
that.
see
I
that? You
believe
see.
that.
You see. D. I was being considerate. I said number 5, but
Yeah, it's
it's actually.
But
11.
that's
It's
because
fucking
they don't
epic.
promote it. They don't.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
my
see
point
boxing.
is,
Hold on. You
my
don't see
point is,
boxing. Yeah. Go ahead.
sorry, sorry, I'm eating. My point is, Kev's talking about all these sports. Or we play this, play that, play. But you're not playing world sports. All your sports are just designed for you guys. No one else gives a shit about them. Trust me. Nobody. Boxing's the only
Dude,
the worldwide
you're
sport,
not
really.
even. I never even mentioned that. You're missing my point. I'm talking about why boxing is popular in England and why it's prioritized. And you're talking about, well, they
not
don't
that-
do it all over the world. No one's even talking about that, dude. So you're the one getting all nationalistic. Oh, your sports, they don't even do it all over the world. Shut up.
Kevin,
Listen,
Kevin,
what I said is true.
Kevin. I get your point. I get your point. I
What
get your
I
point,
said is
Kevin.
true.
You're saying that boxing can't compete with basketball, NHL, whatever, all these sports. You're saying. So, do you think they're better than boxing, or is it more of a question of boxing not being
No, I
promoted?
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, okay. Well, then how come
Completely
it's
missed my
losing?
point.
How come it's losing to all these other sports?
Capitalism.
Why is boxing
That's
losing
why.
to all these other sports? I
Yes.
don't know. I don't know.
I
Probably
just
because
Think
it's
about
corrupt
it.
as
Just
hell.
think about it.
Probably because it's corrupt decision. People like Bob Arum running it.
No,
But
no.
No,
It's always
that's
been.
probably
Hold
why
on.
it's
what
going
it
down
Cut
in
the
America.
crap.
Tell you
Let's
what
cut
it
the.
is.
Corrupt.
Let's cut the crap. It's always
American
been
fighters
corrupt.
not
This
stepping
isn't.
up to the plate,
Can we cut the
fighting the
shit?
fights they should be taking, and sitting there getting a comfortable living, fighting guys that are much better than. That's why, and people
That-
sort
Thank
through
you.
it.
But
It's
come on,
capitalism.
guys.
The best
The-
sport will rise to the top. And if you're
It's-
not putting out a good product, people aren't going to tune in. Only diehards. You're
Good
not
point.
grabbing casuals. You're not grabbing new people. When kids are sitting around fighting once a year, and 99.9% of the fights have a fucking predetermined outcome. That's why the sport is fucking on life support.
Okay, look, let me add into this too. Evan, here's another reason this sport's in trouble. And it's because of people like you, Kevin. Okay? And I'll tell you why I say that. America is full of fucking arrogant people that think it's all about America. Right? So America likes to be winners. Right now, we're losers when it comes to this sport. See, basketball, football, those are homebred sports, baseball, all of that. But there are teams that people they want to root for winners. They want to say they're the best. They're not paying attention. Back in the day, bro, that's what Americans were trying to be in boxing. The best. These guys were dedicated, focused. They wanted to be the best. These guys want to make money now. And people like you, that's full of arrogance, right? That want to support their kind so much, they're not going to pay attention to guys that's carrying on like that because they're not the best. And they know they're not the best. So they're going to focus on UFC fighters that are the best. They're going to focus on the John Jones because whether he gets in trouble with drugs like guys over here too, he's still the best. And they know that he's the best. So there's that element, fam. That's a problem. These guys got to strive to be the best in boxing. And when they do that, then people will love them again. Tyson used to get in trouble, say all kind of crazy shit, went to prison, but they still loved him because they knew, or at least they felt, he was the best.
Good
All right,
point.
good rant. So let's go back to the why nationalism matters in boxing, because I was saying is different countries different people from different countries get different promotions. They get different opportunities. They get pushed harder, and you see it all the time. They get favorable decisions. If they're fighting in a certain country, they're from a certain country, they'll get favorable scorecards. I mean, is anybody going to argue with that? Of course not. So that's why it matters. And that's why everyone thinks I'm hating on the English fighters. They think I'm just, oh, you're just a hater and this and that. No, I'm just speaking facts. They're freaking overrated, man. I said boycott English fighters until they prove it. So they prove their worth. They've just been getting beat down for the longest time. When they step up in competition, they get beat down. You see it time and time again. Who was it?
What about
Callum
Josh
Smith,
Taylor,
Liam
dude?
Smith, Josh Warrington, Charlie Edwards.
The thing
Josh
is,
Taylor.
No, the thing, Jimmy. The thing is,
Josh
Kev,
Taylor's
what you got to
from
understand is,
Scotland, man.
if
He's
you've
from
heard,
Scotland.
if you've heard one Kev call, you've heard them all. He says the same shit every week. He just doesn't
There's
change
two
it up.
different countries. It's England.
guy
It's a
talks
No,
country.
it's the same
That's why I let him
country,
crack
man.
on. And he just put you all to sleep in a minute. Just let him go. It's like a lullaby story. This guy when he's talking, he just put you to fucking sleep. He took a guy sight of sleep.
I mean, I just can't see
Hold
how
on, I
people
wanna
could
talk to
say that
Jimmy.
about
Jimmy,
English
you know,
fight. No, I just want to say
Josh
one
Taylor
quick
is from
about English
Scotland,
fighters.
right?
Guys, that country would fit in the size of New England.
And by the
Think
way,
about how
Jimmy,
small England is.
Jimmy,
Oh, sorry.
Jimmy, Kevin keeps insisting that Josh Taylor is from Scotland, but Scotland is part of the United Kingdom, and it's all related to like Sky Sports and BT Sport, like all these English channels and promotional companies. So it is the same entity in a way. So Scotland,
No. We're
Wales,
talking
yes,
about
it is.
countries, nationality, not the
Yeah, but you're
United
talking about being pushed.
We're talking
You're
about
talking-
England.
The most popular division in the sport, right? And the two guys that are probably considered the best in the most popular division in the sport. Where they from, Kevin?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, where they
We're
from,
talking about the
Kevin?
heavyweight division.
That is the most
Fury
popular
and
division, right?
Joshua.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, those
Anthony
are the
Joshua
two
is from Nigeria,
guys, right?
and Tyson Fury is from
Where
Ireland.
they from? Where they from, Kevin?
Ah.
See, you're biased, fam. You know they're UK fighters. You're
Joshua
fucking
Kevin,
biased.
is from
Kevin, if you want to
Nigeria.
do it like that,
He reps
you're not from
Nigeria.
America. Go back to Europe, Kev. Go back to Europe. You're not American. If you want to go down them, use that criteria, saying he's not this, he's not that. You ain't American. Go back to Europe where you belong. Poland.
You see that tattoo
Poland?
on Joshua's
Yeah,
arm?
that place.
Yeah,
That
Kevin,
tattoo on
Place
Kevin,
where
Joshua's arm?
millions
What
have
is
come
it?
to the UK
Guys.
to get away from the fucking hell.
Kevin, can I say something? I get your point. You're saying
I'm more
Kevin.
English than Joshua.
All right,
okay?
Kevin.
I'm more
okay.
English than Joshua.
Kevin, so you're saying Joshua because his parents are Nigerian and he has an African tattoo on his arm, therefore he's not English. But let me tell you this: if he would have stayed in Nigeria, he probably wouldn't have never become a world champion. If Amir Khan would have stayed in Pakistan, he probably would have never become a world champion.
Kevin's too dumb to understand that. Where do you think he got his? Who funded it? Who
Not
funded
only
him?
that, he
Who put
reps
everything on a plate for him?
Nigeria. That's
Who
his
made him a
thing.
millionaire?
He's
Who brought in the best trainers?
He's
Get out
proudly
of it,
Nigerian.
Kev.
It's like
You fucking
it's like Usman. It's like Usman. He came to the United States when he was like 3, but what does he call himself? He calls himself the Nigerian Nightmare. He
can call himself the
Pharaoh.
He can
represent United States.
Kevin, he can call himself the king of Mars. It doesn't really matter. He was bred in the United States. He went through the United States system of training, just like Amir Khan and Joshua. You know, they didn't train in Nigeria. They trained in the United Kingdom with British boxers, with British trainers. So I think you get my point, Kevin. You know.
You can put a pig in a barn, doesn't make him a horse.
Yeah, but this isn't a pig. It's a
I
human
think Joshua
being.
would be offended if you said he wasn't British. I think he's proud of his Britishness.
It's a human. It's much advanced and developed, evolved than a pig. You know, he can learn.
And then what did Joshua say? And then what did Joshua say?
It doesn't matter, Kevin.
Boycott certain businesses. Yeah, that sounds real proud British over there.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. Even if he denies it, Kevin. Even if even if Joshua denies that he's British and that Britain didn't have anything to do with his training, it doesn't matter. Reality is it did.
No one's denying that. He came to Britain. People train all over the world. There's people from England that go to the United States and they train in the United States. Doesn't make them American, okay?
No.
Did he fight in the Olympics?
People train all over the world.
Kevin, you're all over the place. What I'm saying is,
Kevin, you're a fucking dipshit, man.
Joshua is British because he grew up in Britain. He lived most of his life in Britain, not in Nigeria, and he trained in Britain. So he He's training.
What you don't realise is no one told Anthony Joshua, right, here, Joshua, here's the Union Jack flag. You're going to have to carry it now. You're going to have to tell everyone you're British. He had a choice.
And by the way, people are saying that Joshua is born in England. So he's born in England. He lived in England his whole fucking life.
Yeah, he's born in Watford, I think. I think so. He might not have been. We'll come over
Listen. He's not English by ethnicity. Period.
Oh my God! You're going down, dude. Well, listen,
Kevin,
that's the same type of shit we go at the LDBC for.
Listen, you're not American by ethnicity.
Period.
You're not an American by ethnicity.
You're a Slav. You're a Slavic.
You ain't no red Indian.
Yeah, you're Slav. You're not Western European. You're a
European imposter.
You're a Slav.
That's what you are.
It's supposed to be homogenous.
All right.
Major difference.
It's supposed to be because who said that?
I mean, just stop it. You
All
know
right.
what?
England is a homogenous country, supposedly.
Based on who told you that?
America's built on melting pot. America's a complete melting pot. Complete immigrants. That's a complete difference. You can't compare the two.
No, listen, Kevin.
Get off your high horse.
Yeah, melting pot. You got that right. He's melting with the fucking retards like you in it.
Well, and I was going to say too. Listen, Kevin, we're a reflection of England. It was people from England. Well, actually, started out from people who went from England into Denmark. I don't want to get into detail of it, but the United States is birthed of British values.
That's why you're speaking. Yeah. That's why you're speaking our language right now.
I grew up in New England. People come here from England, right, all the time, and they say, "Jesus Christ, dude!" If I hear people talk like you're in Boston, it looks like there's neighborhoods you just wouldn't know. You know what I mean? I don't buy that. We're a melting pot, but initially we were started on not Christian, British values.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
How stupid? Hey, can you imagine this though? How stupid would it sound though if I was ringing in and saying, "Yeah, this guy, he's not American though, really, is he? Because he's got a background from here. He's got a background from there. You know, he's big in what's his name? The guy we like to fucking Ryan Garcia. He likes to talk big about Ryan Garcia. Oh yeah, he's not American either. If you want to go by your rules, you know, when does it stop? Who are you to say a man's from the UK or not? And let's be real. You want to big up Ryan Garcia as this American hero? He ain't American either. Then, like I said, think before you speak.
No, you know why? America's a full-on melting pot. It's a full-on melting pot. It's been like that for centuries. It's a new country. It started in like 1777, whatever it is.
No, it wasn't
England's
founded.
been around for...
Who founded America? It was white Anglo-Saxons, Protestant. For the most part. There was no Polish Catholics. There were no Polish Catholics. All right, listen, Kevin.
Christopher Columbus, the Italian, Spanish explorer.
The British and the Irish basically started building America.
We gotta move on, Kevin, but we got another phone call. So thanks for calling.
You can't handle the truth.
That's right, we can handle the truth. All right, Kevin. Thanks for calling, man. Call back again next time.
Dude, don't ban me in the chat, you soft little beach.
All right.
Just your mouth, you little Polish bum.
Sniff some more glue, Kevin. Go sniff some more glue.
Just me, mate. You are fucking on a thin line with me, man. Trust me.
Stu, we have another phone call. You want to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 719. You're on the air, 719.
Yeah, what's up? Just the brotherhood.
All right, what's up?
Are y'all doing okay today? Are y'all doing okay?
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
No, seriously, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the panel today.
Oh, thank you for your concern.
Y'all good? Okay. It don't sound like y'all doing too well. The way I could have swore I just heard y'all making conspiracy theories about Lomachenko getting cheated by the judges or something like that. So I just had to check on y'all.
Yeah.
I don't remember talking about that at all.
Yeah, I was recognizing. We were mentioning
before I got on.
There was a card that was it was a white scorecard. One was 119, I believe. I think that's an exaggeration.
What is your problem with Lomachenko, brotherhood? I mean, you are seriously obsessed with this guy.
So I don't have a problem with Lomachenko. I was just surprised to hear this from the people that are anti-conspiracy theory that don't let me go one phone call without mentioning Wilder to me and Glovegate. So it's just funny to hear from these people that don't believe in corruption and everything like this to be saying Bob Arum was favoring Teofimo Lopez because he's easier to work with. And so he
but all
rigged
this
the
what you're saying,
scorecard.
though,
Is
Brotherhood, all
that
this
what
you're
we was
saying,
talking
though.
about, right?
Yeah, but
So,
it doesn't change anything. You know, it doesn't. Wilder's still lying, no matter what Lomachenko
I can't go a
It
phone
isn't all
call
about
without hearing
Wilder,
about
you.
Wilder. I knew
Trying
it.
to save face with Wilder. It came back to Wilder like it
I
always
knew it.
does. You guys just won't give it a
I
rest.
knew it.
He's been exposed.
Hey,
Nothing
Brotherhood,
nothing you show us about Lomachenko. Even if Lomachenko made the same excuses as Wilder, it wouldn't change the fact that Wilder has been making excuses and made himself look like a fucking idiot, and he's probably the laughing stock of boxing right now. You are not going to change my opinion, so you can talk Lomachenko.
Why are we talking about Wilder, sir? I'm talking about Lomachenko.
You brought Wilder up.
You brought Wilder up.
You brought
No,
Wilder up.
I specifically said I know
Wilder's
I
on
can't
your
go a
mind
phone
that
call
much.
without
You
y'all
forget when you
bringing up
mention him, 'cause
Wilder.
you mention
If I
him so
bring
much.
up Lomachenko, I knew it. But if y'all want to
But
be
you brought up Wilder,
predictable,
dude.
go ahead.
You brought him up.
And it made my brain click when he mentioned Wilder. This call's about Wilder. It's not about Lomachenko. You don't care because Lomachenko didn't win anyway. This is about Wilder.
So I'm just curious, what does Brotherhood think of Andre Ward's comments? Absolutely eviscerating Wilder, laughing at him. Actually,
Ward is a coon. Ward is a coon, and he's not. He got a white father.
Well, did you see that it came out yesterday? Andre Ward did an interview with Max Kellerman, and Max Kellerman asked him, "So what do you think?" And as he talked about the excuses, Ward actually broke into giggles, and then he said, "I don't respect what he's doing. I don't respect what he said." He said he's made accusations without no tangible proof. And he absolutely destroyed Wilder, and now that's another fighter.
Listen, I have a problem with Andre Ward because I think Andre Ward was part of corruption as well. But to his point, look, Wilder has made crazy accusations without showing proof. Right? He said that there's a doctor that diagnosed him with a brain, a fucking cranium injury, whatever the case may be. Right? So he's making these crazy accusations and there's no foundation to it. There's nothing to it. It's just a guy spewing different excuses every time one doesn't stick. But Andre Ward is going to be considered to them a half-breed. So that means he doesn't count, even though he counts when he talks and he talks their language and they agree with him. And he's a coon. So that's how they.
When he called Triple G Little G, then he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right, exactly.
But now he's calling Wilder out for the buffoon,
because
embarrassment that he is.
In the ladder,
now he's a coon.
In the ladder of ridiculousness, right? Wilder's at the top. Wilder is the king of these dudes, right? With these ridiculous point of views. He's on the very top of that. So Andre Ward is as good as they need him for, basically. Wilder is as good as until the end of time, right? Until some scrub knocks him out, which is probably going to happen, right? Because he's so focused on what happened to him against Tyson Fury, he's going to go in there like against a guy like Charles Martin, is going to get chin checked, okay? Because he's so distracted. Then they'll probably say fuck him. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're not boxing fans. They're just looking for somebody to cheer for. That's it. That's all it is.
Is Brotherhood still on the line, Brotherhood?
Oh, I was talking to Brotherhood.
I'm just waiting for y'all Wilder rant to be over with so we can talk about Lomachenko and these conspiracy theories y'all making up.
Well, Lomachenko's conspiracy theory. Go ahead. What's his conspiracy theory?
Got the floor, brother. You got the floor.
Yeah, I want to hear this conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Convince us all. Come on.
So I just repeated it to you guys that you said it yourself. It was because Teofimo Lopez is easier to work with. So Bob felt like he should,
that's an opinion.
That's make sure Teofimo Lopez wins no matter what. So I want y'all to explain this to me and what proof y'all have of this and everything like that.
Can I start? Can I start real quick?
Well,
okay. First of all, Jimmy, let me just say this one point.
No,
Jimmy. First of all, Jimmy didn't agree with me on that issue. Okay, he didn't agree with me. He proposed a question to the fact of why would Teofimo get favoritism when he's a hard person to deal with. It was a challenge that Jimmy gave, and I try to give a reasonable answer. Okay, and this is not a theory we're all in agreement on. So you're wrong when you say that. You got to come correct. You got to say, I heard
Let me
recognize.
hold it there.
Thank you,
So,
Red.
y'all don't think.
I don't agree with it
Ask the
either,
question?
brother.
Y'all already went on the 5-minute rant. Come on now. Now,
Listen,
do y'all on this panel? I'm asking everybody. Do y'all think that Lopez got favoritism on the cards?
I think so. Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Everybody on here thinks so. He got favoritism.
On one card, even his own family thought he did.
Yeah, one card.
Just say yes or no.
Yes,
No,
I already told you, man. Yes.
The right guy.
I heard two people say yes. I don't hear the other two panel members.
There's no bad feeling there. The right guy won.
What the hell is your
who on this panel said he didn't win? Everybody on this panel said the right guy won. Everyone.
I didn't say anything about him not winning. I said, do you think he was getting favoritism on the cards or not?
Yes,
or no?
yes.
One card.
That quickly.
On 3 cards. I mean, 2 cards for me. 2 cards.
It's got to be a reason y'all can't just say yes or no. I think you're being impartial.
Well, I was trying to answer you. You keep interrupting me. I'm trying to answer you. Keep interrupting me. At the end of the day, right?
Yes
whether you
or
think,
no, sir? I'm not done talking. I just wanted a yes or no.
He just said yes or no doesn't work.
It's so fucking hard to talk on it. Whether Bob Arum...
All right, go ahead.
Whether
Say
Bob
what you
Arum
got to say.
Teofimo Lopez or not, it doesn't really... That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy behind something. Even if Bob Arum said, look, I prefer Teofimo to win this. That doesn't mean that there's a conspiracy. At the end of the day, there is no conspiracy with this fight. The right guy won. Move on. What are you? I don't get what you're trying to say. You keep bringing up Lomachenko because he has a few excuses. Fair enough, but his excuses are nowhere near the level of what Wilder's done. Is Lomachenko throwing people under the bus like Wilder is? Is Lomachenko like turning on everyone like Wilder? No, look, come on, man.
Okay, hold on.
So I literally can't. You can't talk about Lomachenko without talking about Wilder. It's a fact.
No, listen.
Back to
hey,
my
Brotherhood.
question. Do you think?
No, that's not true. Wait.
He's
He's being insane.
Just say yes or no.
He's being insane. This guy is. Wilder is comparing himself to John F. Kennedy conspiracy.
Stop talking about Wilder. I'm talking about Lomachenko. Jesus.
Well, because you said you can't talk about Wilder without bringing up Lomachenko. You're the one that's bringing it up. So
you can't. Yeah, your first word was Wilder. As soon as I said that, bro.
All right. Can we try this? Can we try this? Brotherhood, you're gonna ask. Hold on, brother.
Wilder thinks fucking Tyson Fury.
Brotherhood.
All
right. Let's play that. Let's play Brotherhood's game here. So we can mention Wilder. So go ahead, Brotherhood. Ask your question again.
If y'all can't give me a simple yes or no to the question I've asked 5 times already, then it's no point. Do you think Teofimo got favoritism versus Lomachenko or not? If you can't say yes or no, don't cut me off. If you can't say yes or no, simple as that, then you got some type of reason that you can't just say yes or no.
It's not a yes or no question, though.
Oh my God!
He just said that. He just said that himself. He said it's not a yes or no question. He just said that literally 2 minutes ago. Play it back. And now he wants yes or no. You just want to catch us saying something.
We could just stop.
That's what he's trying to catch us. The less we say, the less we expose him. That's why he only wants a one-word answer. Because the more we say, the more we expose his argument, and he don't want that. He just wants it. How are we meant to answer that question when it's not even a yes or no question?
I can't make my argument until you answer the question. That's my whole point.
No, then.
You damn fool! Like you keep. I don't understand his question. What the fuck is his question?
All right.
Well, it's a simple ass question. Y'all playing all these mind games. Do you think Teofimo got favoritism on the card?
Yes.
The answer is yes.
See.
Yes.
We.
I say no.
Yeah, so everybody on the panel said
the 11 rounds to 1. Hold on. The 11 rounds to 1 and the 9 rounds to 3 was ridiculous. Was ridiculous. But go ahead.
Forgot about that.
Jesus Christ. It's never been so hard to talk to 4 grown men and get a yes or no.
I said yes.
We all said
Okay,
one
I
card.
heard.
He had
Look, I
favoritism in
heard
one
Mucho
card.
or BDA, whoever that is, say yes. I heard Recognize say yes, but these other two guys.
I just said no. I just said no.
said
All right,
But Stu, you did say that one
So
card
you
was
agree?
ridiculous.
So you agree?
that
the
one
wide
card.
scorecard.
That one card. Obviously, yeah. I mean, there's definitely something not right there.
Exactly.
But I need some sort of. Yeah, but I don't have any proof that Bob bribed this guy. Is he just incompetent?
Can I say
I
something?
just don't know.
Stu, can I say something? Can I just say something quickly? Please, listen.
Go ahead and
listen.
ask me.
Brotherhood. This is the thing, though. Some of us think that. I'll speak for myself. I don't think maybe not all the judges were favoring Lomachenko, but I do think maybe two judges were favoring Lomachenko because the 119 card is out of control. Just like Mayweather and Canelo. Remember there was we just mentioned CJ Ross. He gave it a 114. Now, if Mayweather comes out and says, you know what? If Mayweather comes out and says, I think there's something fishy going on here, you know, Mayweather's not making some sort of crazy ass conspiracy. I mean, there's proof there, like 114. I mean, that's impossible. So,
well, it's proof. It's proof.
So wait,
there's only two things that
you
shows
gotta
you
keep
two
deflecting towards other fights instead of talking about Lomachenko and Lopez. But anyway, I'm gonna just talk to the two people who was man enough to say yes. So, all right. What proof do you have
that anyone agrees
that a promoter influenced a judge and made them be favored?
I don't have concrete proof. That's why I'm not making.
You don't have proof. Therefore, that's a conspiracy. Therefore, that's a conspiracy theory, sir.
It is a conspiracy. Yeah,
at least
people conspired.
Yes,
it is a conspiracy. Yes.
We're admitting it, though.
Now we're finished. That's it. Now the other two people
wasn't
that's a terrible. You call him for that?
Hey, good luck. Hey, have a good day. Have a good day, y'all.
Wow.
Right. You have a good day too with your crazy conspiracy theories.
I know what he's trying to do.
Let me say this to Brotherhood right quick. Because he tried to say the two people that was man enough to say yes. Let me tell you something, Brotherhood. Those dreads must be too tight on your damn head. I've been advocating and pushing for Teofimo the whole time. And the way I see it is this. If I see two cards that I don't think is unfair and one card that I think is completely unfair, well, the odds would say, no, it wasn't one unfair judging for Lomachenko. It was one idiot. I'm not just going to say. Now, that's 2 out of 3, in my opinion. And plus, I'm a Teofimo fan. You idiot. It's no conspiracy on this panel. We all got our own ideas. So cut it out.
He wants to label. Here's the thing with Brotherhood wants to label. Brotherhood wants to do is to label us as conspiracy theories. Something that's what we say about Wilder fanatics, the crazy ones. We call them conspiracy theories. But
you can't even compare.
But it's not even. Come on, that's why he didn't want to mention Wilder because it's so embarrassing. You know, it's not even the same level.
The guy said that Fury had egg weights in his gloves. That means that when he took off his gloves, there would be evidence of that. Okay, when he took off his glove in the ring, right? There would have been evidence of something. He's trying to compare the two. A guy saying, "Look, I think that Teofimo got favoritism on the scorecards." 2, I think this guy was punching me with egg weights. I think my trainer poisoned me. I think
it's absurd.
It's absurd. He's saying Vegas. Look, you know when I'll take Wilder serious? When he sues Vegas.
Yeah.
That's when I'll take him. Until then, fuck him and his fans. Wilder is I'm gonna say this again. Wilder is. If you don't like corruption in boxing, you shouldn't be a fan of Wilder. He's a dirty motherfucker.
Somebody might
got
say
what he deserved.
Somebody might say, well, why doesn't Lomachenko try to overturn the decision? Because many fighters have tried and it never works. Like they never, because once you overturn a decision, imagine once you overturn a decision, you open a precedent for that. And they're never gonna do that.
They don't do it.
No, imagine that
as far as the conspiracy theory is too. If think about it, this is what he's calling conspiracy theory. Everyone on this panel, every single last one of us have agreed that one card was just asinine. It was absurd. Okay, so there it is on the table. Now, as a panel, we've asked each other, What do you think could be behind that? And then we all lay down the plethora of different things. Could he have been bribed? Could he just be stupid? You know what I mean? Like, so that's not we're not putting out conspiracy theories as a panel. We're discussing what could possibly be behind that everyone agrees is a ridiculous card. Even himself at one point agreed. So now he's trying to turn a discussion into what could be behind something, what is fact, okay? We're starting out with a fact. That card is horrible. That's the thing with Wilder. He's not starting out. There's no fact to start out with. It's emotions. He sat back in silence, waited for a bunch of fucking grown-ass men fucking to come up with theories, and then he tied himself to them.
Guys, I need to read some super chats. Michael, again, thank you for your contribution. He says, hate to keep saying it, but they pretend to be mad, and then a month later they work. The promoters pay them, so it's bullshit. Oh yeah, his promoters pay them. What are you talking about? The referees? Can you just clarify on that? Because maybe I didn't understand. Sorry about the judges. Maybe I didn't get your message. Michael Poe again says Jimmy said it beautifully and the truth. All right. And then the Brotherhood, thank you for your donation. He says, instantly you talk about Wilder and then he's laughing. All right. Well, I don't know because why were we talking about? He kept mentioning Wilder. That's why I think we went back to it. And by the way, I understand what you were trying to do, Brotherhood. Like you were trying to label us as conspiracy theorists because we label these Wilder crazy ass fans as conspiracy theories. So you wanted to put us on the same level as them. But we just explained to you like it's not even comparable. I mean, one guy's talking about an egg weight, and we're just talking about a scorecard that didn't really make sense. It was a little bit exaggerated, too wide. Just like that Mayweather, what's the Mayweather Canelo scorecard? You have to agree with us. The 114, that didn't really make sense.
You made excellent points. That was an excellent point you made with the Mayweather card. That was perfect.
Yeah, but we can't mention Mayweather. We can't mention Wilder. He's trying to accuse us of being like crazy ass conspiracy theories. Like we're out of our minds for actually saying.
Wilder, though, right? Nobody was talking about Wilder. He calls up, "Oh, you guys are Lomachenko. You guys can't do it without mentioning Wilder." And we're all like, "What?"
And then like, you don't have proof that
he said his team didn't agree, which was bullshit because Junior Lopez said that was the only card he'd agreed with was the 11-1 card. So what the hell he's talking about? His trainer's all for it. Man, come on, man. Brotherhood's all around the place with this nonsense, bro. How am I in on the conspiracy theory, Brotherhood, you idiot? I'm on the panel too.
Michael says in the chat, thank you for your contribution. He says, I can prove that while there is no a Nigerian prince, but I know it's not true. Start typing. Stop doing the voice to text thing, man, Michael, because I think you're talking about Joshua. But yeah, let me know what you meant. All right. Well, let's take a deep breath. That was insane. And then he keeps asking, like, yes or no. We all say yes, and then he's like, he's not satisfied with the answer.
Looking for? Does he have his own YouTube page? Maybe he's trying to make a soundbite.
He has a channel.
Mission, their conspiracy theories, BDA conspiracy.
I mean, we're talking about a scorecard. It's not like we're talking about flat Earth or anything like that, And
when it came to that Lomachenko fight, for the record, too, going into that fight, I even said I had picked Loma to win, but before the fight started, the last time I was on the show, I said, but at the same token, I could easily see this fight going. And then I even referenced D's video. I said, I think he broke it down. After I watched it, I said, exactly. After, you know what I mean? I agreed with every one of his points. See, that's the difference. You can have an opinion when it's based on fucking evidence and when it's based on, you know what I mean, reasonable evidence. And everything D said, breaking down that fight, made perfect sense. So if it played out that way, I said I could see the fight going both ways too. I would not be surprised if fucking Lopez wins, and I agree, and I referenced D's thing. So my point is, we were all saying, it wasn't like we're all going, oh, Loma's going to kill that dude. You know what I mean? It's just so crazy.
Hey, Jimmy, the thing is, you can't make sense to people that don't make sense. And that's Brotherhood, because he don't make sense with
exactly.
I don't know what the point. Well, I think I know. Like I said, just wanted us to look like nut jobs for saying that card didn't really make sense, and Maybe somebody was behind it, but we don't know. But that's where it ends. We're not gonna create another, like, we're not gonna come up with 25 excuses like these Wilder fans did. Oh, you're mentioning Wilder again. You're mentioning Wilder again. We're 3 steps ahead of you, man. Don't you worry.
And to be honest with you, the Wilder thing, think about it, with the lockdowns and all the the bullshit, that actually gave me a reason to go and look on Twitter, just because it's got to the point, it's so farcical, it's becoming funny. But I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna tell you, as an older guy who you do things in life, and sometimes this is a major turning point in this kid's life. Like, he has trashed his fucking legacy. I mean, outside of a handful of fucking sycophants he has hanging on his dick, I mean, he's a laughing stock of the sport across the board, including Kevin Iola, who was the biggest Wilder PBC fan guy at one point. And it just, he's got no, and it's just, he's not, and I'm telling you right now, if he doesn't change this soon, there's going to be a time it's going to be a disaster for him. This is just not a good thing, what he's doing.
Yeah, fuck Wilder. I'm tired of talking about Wilder, man, to be honest.
And let me tell you
I'm
something now. Don't underestimate what the LDBC can do, because I've watched them ruin a few careers. I'm being serious.
Good point.
What I mean by that is, Wilder decided to go with their narrative to keep them happy all the time. He got stuck. He got stuck in a cult, and when you're too deep into it, there's no way out with him. He had to come out of excuses to save face, because he made it all about black power and race things, getting these guys hyped, ready for the white man to get beat down. You know what I mean? They were fucking, they had the barbecue on and everything, didn't they? Ready to go with a beer open, and it went pear-shaped for him. And they're looking at Wilder. What the fuck happened, bro? And he needs excuses, so he's coming out with everything he can think of. But because he's low IQ, he's coming out with very bad excuses.
So, Stu, are you blaming Wilder for Stu? So you're blaming Wilder for what happened? Basically, he attracted this fan base.
Yeah, look, Wilder. Instead of like being the people's champ, Wilder decided he wanted to be the LDBC champ. And as soon as he chose that path, there was only there's it's like one of them is only one. It's like the drug trade. It's only two ways out: in a box,
or
do you know what I mean, or prison, isn't it? Do you know what I mean, sort of thing. So that's what it's like with these guys. There's no way, because they're going to just turn on him anyway. So the only little fan base he did have, if he admitted to his defeat and said the truth, then they'd have turned on him. So they've had nobody. He alienated everybody. He's stuck with this little cult that's made the boxing community an absolute cancer, by the way. And it's cost him, because he's made it a mockery out of the sport. He's been an embarrassment. His excuses are just, well, they are legendary. Let's just say that. And there's no way back. That's my point on Wilder.
Well put. I thought that was excellent breakdown. You nailed it 100%.
This is why you can't do that. You can't alienate fans. This is a hard sport to break anyway, especially in America. I mean, like Kevin likes to keep telling us how much things they've got to do. So you've got to be standing out. Tyson Fury stole the show when he came to America. When even before the fight, everyone was talking about Tyson Fury. No one was talking about Wilder.
Because he's white.
Well, yeah, that's what they're
No, I'm joking. No, I remember when Prince Nassim made his US debut. Remember, guys? That Square Garden was a lot of people. I don't know if it was sold out, but it was because there was some sort of level of excitement. Everybody was talking about the Prince. Who's this? People actually thought he was a real Prince, and then he had the entrances and everything. Well, yeah.
But Joe, you couldn't go anywhere near New York without seeing a big border with Hamid's face on it. Madison Square Garden. It was everywhere in New York. They spent a lot of money advertising that fight. And apparently Frank Warren said during the contract negotiations to get Hamid to the Garden, Frank Warren said, look, I want you to advertise the fight, do everything you can to sell the fight. And that was part of the contract. And they stuck to the deal, and they did.
I remember he was on Jay Leno. I think he showed up on Jay Leno. He was on that Jay Leno show, that late night show, whatever.
Yeah.
So they were really promoting that fight, And like you said, he paid off. So it's about promoting. That's why I was trying to tell Kevin, listen, boxing is not where it used to be. And it's not because of the corruption. Yeah, that doesn't help. But the corruption has always been there on the sports. It's nothing new. And the sport used to be big, even with the corruption, like right there on the sport. But
Wilder also went against. Wilder he went against all values in boxing. There's not many values in the sport as is, but one of them is that you don't really talk about killing another man in the ring. It's just a man-and-man agreement. It's just something none of us agree with. He's doing that. Another one is talking shit about some of the past greats, giving them no respect. You got to know where you come from, and Wilder didn't. Talking about Tyson and all these other guys. That's disrespectful in itself. And then the other is just the way he refused to learn. He took the sport for granted. I think he looked down at the sport. Anyone that thinks all he's got to do is throw a right hand at these guys and it's going to get the job done, he's ignorant, or he just doesn't have no respect for the sport. It's one of the two. Because anyone that respects the sport of boxing knows it's a science, mate, and you've got to get a lot of things right. You can't just go in there with one tool. You've got to come in with a shop full of them.
I want to thank One Foot Out the Door for his contribution. He says, facts over feelings. That's right. That's what it's all about over here. And going back to what we're talking about right now with Stu and everybody else, I was going to say about Wilder. Listen, he didn't do himself any favors by focusing on just a small demographic of fight fans who think in a certain way. He should have really embraced. Like, for example, I was watching this show, post-fight show from ESPN. It has this NFL, I think ex-NFL players, whatever. And I think most of them were black. Well, all of them were black. And this guy said, like, he was black. And he said, oh, I invited my friend over to watch the Wilder fan. And he's white. My friend's white. And we both were supporting Wilder because he's the American fighter. But then when Wilder came into the ring with that rapper singing that all black thing, he said it was awkward. Like, I'm with my white friend over here. We're supposed to be supporting the American guy, and he's just like going all black, not really embracing the nation as the nation as a whole. And so that's what I think Wilder did wrong. He should have embraced. He should have been more friendly.
Not only did
Ucho,
not only didn't he embrace it, he went the opposite way. He purposely, Black History Month, he had his handpicked reporters asking racially motivated questions. Tyson was trying to fight back the whole time, going, "No, man, it's a man against man. It's nothing to do about race." Wilder came in, like you said, with that fucking rapper, that song. He had that outfit was a paid to that movie. It was, and his own fans said, this is like fucking the end of Black History Month after the loss. Like he did everything he could to make it racial. He didn't come draped in an American flag. This is for my Americans, my people. This is for black against white. They made it that way, like Stu said. And once it became ideological, it became way more than a fight. Now it's ideology involved. That's why people become so hard.
And it's nothing. And people want to say that Americans don't support blacks, and so like that. For example, that guy who said from ESPN, that NFL player, whatever. He said my friend, he was white and he was supporting Wilder just because he's the American guy. So let's cut that bullshit about everybody's a racist. It's ridiculous, man.
Look, Wilder alienated himself. Wilder lost a lot of fans. I mean, look, let's be real. Most of Black America laugh at Wilder. Trust me, they do. It's only this little group of fucking sociopaths that that take this stuff serious. Everyone else is laughing at them. They can't believe what they're hearing from this guy. And even the pros, I mean, B-Hop, all the legends of the sport, I mean, even they can't come to terms with what this clown's saying. So
Andre Ward.
It's hurt his career. This is what happened when you start following LDBC did so much damage to Deontay Wilder's career. You don't even imagine. Trust me. You might think so, Stu. They're just YouTubers, but trust me, when you break it down, look over the years, they have been the biggest factor in the demise of him, because they never once sat and told him all them calls. Never once said, Deontay, you got to work on things, bro. That is not going to get you through at the top. They just told him how great he was, told him about how good his power was, comparing him with the Larry Holmes and the fucking Tysons of this world. That is the worst thing you can do. Surround yourself with yes men, and Look, I'm not saying they should go and say, "Look, you're useless at this. You need to," but just they never once questioned on him about improving on stuff because they just sat there and licked his ass for like however long the call was, and that's what Deontay's problem was. Never had anyone to sit and tell him, "You got to work on this, bro. You got to work on that. Look, this is real bad. You're gonna get exposed on this." None of it. They just said, "Keep doing what you're doing, brother." And we are where we are.
Stu, you look at his training camps, and they're all full of LDBC guys, Blue Bloods there, 78s there. In fact, I guess he hangs out with 78 a lot. I heard on top of fuck it out. Well, no, I don't want to say what I heard because then, but anyways, but he's not a good dude, that dude 78 in a lot of different ways. But like you said, he tied his boat to those guys. He used their narrative, and it was just a losing proposition. And now, listen, he's also said something. Now, I've caught it in a few different interviews. When he first talked to Costa coming out of that fight, he said he had a lot of pressure on him going into the fight. He's now alluded to that 3 separate times. The pressure, people have no idea. His statement just released. People have no idea the pressure I was under. What pressure is he talking about?
Yeah, the problem is Jimmy. The problem is the left in America over exaggerate how racist America really is. And what I mean by that is that race card, that racist bullshit. Sorry, whether it's white nationalism or black nationalism, it's just not going to work in America. America's not as a racist as the media likes to make it out. It isn't. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna let fucking someone. Like, they're not going to follow someone that goes down that route. He made it clear what he's about. And he come across as quite a racist guy, Deontay Wilder, recently, isn't he? Some of the comments he's made. Do you know what I mean? So
he denigrated England's. I mean, when he denigrated Europe's largest ethnic minority. The Gypsies have 12 million people. They're Europe's largest ethnic minority, and he just denigrated them, called them all crooks.
Jimmy,
and
I wouldn't be
Costa sitting there smirking.
He doesn't even know who the Gypsies are. I mean, do you guys? He probably can't even point to Europe on a map. He probably can't even point to. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Any racist ideology is not going to succeed in America. Whether you think that country is a racist country, look, there's a lot of racism in America. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more people that are against it, and that will never succeed. And Deontay Wilder, the minute he signed up with that cult, right? It was the sort of
It's true. Hey, if you think about it, guys. You think back when Malcolm X and Rockwell, they both believe in black nationalists, white nationalists. They essentially had similar beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Which is why he met with them. So it didn't work way back then. And they were both on opposite sides of the field, but they had similar beliefs in how things should work.
Yes.
It's never going to work in this country.
No, because they're never going to listen. Them two are never going to concede to the other one. They're never going to agree to giving in. The way society works, you've got to give and take in society. You've got to be part of the community. You've got to be able to give and take. And when it comes to nationalists, they're not going to let black people move into their neighborhoods. Black nationalists are not going to let white people move into their neighbors. It's never going to work. And it's a recipe for disaster. Anyone that goes down that route will lose in politics, sport, whatever it is. And I think Wilder went down that route. He is another one that overestimated what America was about. I think he thought if he'd come with this black nationalist shit, he'd have 40 million African Americans on his side, and he'd make an absolute fortune off it. Just didn't work like that. Because most of these guys are like D. Have got a fucking brain. See for what it is.
Nationalism doesn't work. Ethno states and countries doesn't work unless you're Jewish. That's for Israel.
What the hell's going on? Recognize.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was on mute. I apologize.
His Till This Day rants got picked up by everything. That got him on the cover of Africana magazine. They referenced his Till This Day. But if you watch that whole Till This Day thing, when Raheem says, "Well, articulate what you're saying." I don't gotta explain what's already understood. Don't you believe in Google? He sounded like a fucking moron. He just sounded like somebody regurgitating race hustler claims that are statistically proven not to be true, but he just says it because it's just how it is. Like the narrative, not to bring up politics, but fucking Trump, fire extinguisher wielding Trump supporters bashed a cop's head in. That's been the whole premise of going after Trump. Now they find out that the medical examiner said no, there was no fucking signs of trauma to his head. He called his brother 2 hours after the fucking riot ended and said, I'm fine. So that whole narrative for the fucking impeachment is based off a lie. And everybody just goes with it because the media is saying it. You see what I'm saying?
This is why, Jimmy, I don't pay attention to these suckers, bro, because they go on here, they repeat mainstream lies. They don't have an original thought in their head. All their thoughts come from somebody else. And that's why I don't really care to talk to them. Look, Wilder, when it comes to the excuse making, he is the king of the mountain. He's the king of that. I agree, he is a king. But when it comes to excuses, my man, I've heard people say, look, man, I don't agree with that scorecard. That was some bullshit. I think they stopped that fight too early. Whoop-de-woo. All this stuff. The excuses that this bum has come up with, it's comedy. It's comedy level. And people like Brotherhood and all those people, they understand. Look, Brotherhood, you think Brotherhood is stupid? Yeah, he may say stupid things, but do you really think in his mind he's not saying, God damn, Wilder's like really making me look bad? He just won't admit it. Brotherhood would never admit that. Okay, not publicly, not to us. But I'm sure that there's some level of IQ
Anybody who
that goes
believes
off
one
and
thing
says,
but says something different, I have no respect
yeah,
for it. That says a lot about their character. If they deep
exactly.
down inside they know something, but they're gonna hang a different narrative because it's part of their ideology, then
Yes.
you're no better than a communist because that's what they do.
Guys,
Push a lie.
Yeah, exactly.
we're gonna take a phone call. 470 on the air. 470. Oh, hold on. You're muted. Okay, go ahead.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Deontay Wilder, when he first hit the scene, the first sign that there was something wrong was when he didn't challenge one of the Klitschko brothers. Everybody in America knew the Klitschko brothers were the heavyweight champs. He wouldn't, challenge one of them. I think Deontay Wilder, he didn't get the mainstream recognition that he wanted at the beginning of his career because of his matchmaking. He didn't fight anybody that anybody knew, and so he kind of felt a safe refuge with this LDBC. And it just grew and grew. It just kind of just went crazy, up until now, where they meet each other, they feed off each other, right? So Wilder needs yes men, and the LDBC need Wilder for them to keep making money and keep generating views on YouTube. So they kind of feed off each other. Wilder, I mean, you want to talk racism? We've had Tyson, we've had Ali, we've had Larry Holmes, we've had George Foreman, we've had Riddick Bowe, we've had Holyfield. All these guys are loved by them. Everybody in America knows these guys. So for Wilder to use race as the reason why he didn't become what he thought he wanted to become is just BS. He wasn't willing to do what it took to improve himself and to fight the opponents that people knew, and so he just retreated. And the LDBC was his safe refuge. They tell him just like all his yes men in his corner and in his life, they tell him what he wants to hear, and they feed back off of him.
Great point, man. Wow, excellent. Yeah, it's true. He's going back now that he lost. Instead of facing reality, he goes back to like the yes community, right? The yes man community, like the LDBC. He fires Mark Brilliant because he's gonna tell him the truth. He stays with JD's, who obviously is a yes man. Wow, great point, man. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a never ending thing with Wilder, because I mean, it's just getting more and more every year. I mean, I would have thought that after Tyson Fury beat him, that would be the end. But then when they started coming with these excuses, the gloves, now it's his own trainer, highly respected trainer, Mark Breland poisoned him, and this guy's allowed to say this. He's allowed to say these things with no evidence and no proof, and these guys run with it. I think you guys even mentioned Kevin Iole or whatever his name is. They just published this shit, published these accusations, no proof. And his ego, it just keeps, now they're saying, oh, Fury and Joshua don't matter. It's all about Wilder. So it's like, you guys were talking earlier about America, the shit don't, but the thing is in America though, we have our extremes, and Wilder has chosen Some people choose to go the extremist route, and that's the route Wilder, because he couldn't get that mainstream love and acceptance that the other past heavyweight champions have gotten. He's chosen this route, which is it sucks, and it's brought a level of toxicity into boxing that is not good, because all that does is it generates, you know, another side that hates them, and then now we can't even, you know, the sport's been it's just toxic, you know, with people like Deontay Wilder.
Hey, caller, you know what makes a great competitor is to take a L against the guy you really didn't want to take a L to. It's to say, look, I lost that night. Like think of the dude that you don't like the most, and he goes in there and he beats your ass. It's for you to the art of learning how to get better is to maybe have a moment like that, lose to the guy you never wanted to lose to, and then you accept it and say, okay, what do I have to do to make that up? Wilder, this is why I say I think Wilder is very capable of getting washed up in his very next fight against whoever. I don't care who it is. His mind is distracted. Roy Jones went in for Glenn Johnson knowing he never got over what happened with Tarver. Okay? And you saw it in that fight. He was shell-shocked. Before the knockout, it's not like he was beating Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson was winning the fight because Roy wasn't doing anything. He was shot. And don't be surprised if that happens to Wilder, because Wilder can't accept the simple ideology of sports, competitive sports. Every once in a while, you're going to take a L. That's just the way it goes.
Emotionally weak, dude.
Yeah.
He's so emotionally weak. He can't. And I'm to be honest, dude. I really lean towards you won't ever see him in the ring again. I really believe
there's a good chance of that. I think there's a very good chance of that.
All right, caller. Anything else?
No, I think Wilder, I think he knows that about himself. I think, I think we've talked about this before. I think he picked Fury. They just saw him as some fat, out of shape white has been.
They thought he was washed
Fury,
up.
That came
right?
out of Fury.
Oh, it was a cherry pick. Exactly.
Yeah, they thought it was. They thought Precise always
up.
said this. This was a cherry pick gone wrong. That's all it is.
And now you got to understand Wilder now. Why it's so bad now is because he's promoted himself as this black king. It's about race, you know, and he lost to a white guy. So there has to be an excuse, because otherwise the LDBC can't accept that outcome. So there has to be an excuse, and they're willing to believe the excuse,
no matter what.
You know,
great call.
No matter what.
Caller, did you call a what? What's your name? What's your name again, caller?
I can't hear you.
What's your name?
Sorry. What's your name again, brother?
Chris.
Your name?
Chris.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, great call, man. One of the better calls I heard, man. I hope you call again more often. It's great when you get calls. We can just sit back and it's somebody's just coming up with all kinds of
I was telling you about this. I was telling you about this guy on YouTube, right? I really don't believe in all his ideology, but when it comes to combat sports and breaking it down, I think he does a good job. His name is Uma Fight Camp. Very pro-black person. To me, that's the way he sees things. Of course, I don't agree with the ideology, but that's his opinion. So he was getting bombarded by the LDBC, okay, with questions, and I know it was them. I know it was them because I saw one of them. To touch on the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. He said, look what he said. I watched that fight several times. And as a black man, I was hurt to see him get beat up that way. No doubt. I was cheering for the black guy. But that there's some conspiracy, I don't see it. And second of all, it doesn't explain how fundamentally flawed he looked in that fight.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Anyways. Yeah, the skills aren't there.
I'm just saying that here's a guy who makes no bones about it. He is a black Muslim. He said, I was rooting for Wilder because of his nationality. He's African American.
He might be an extremist, but he has enough respect and character to not to fucking, lie on behalf of some man you don't even know.
And what did the poison do? Because if that's what poisons does to Wilder, then he's always been poisoned. If you think about it, I mean, 'cause he always fights the same way, basically.
And what was his talk screen, Bucho? After every fucking heavyweight championship fight, depends on the sanction, but I believe the WBC makes every fighter get drug tested. Remember, sometimes they catch guys with shit in their system after the fight.
No, it's Irish
how,
drug dealers. They
how come?
influence. Irish drug dealers
No,
has something to do with the commission. No, Jimmy, they say that
oh
the
yeah,
whole thing
the
was
coke
staged.
dealer. Yeah, that's right.
They say
The
everybody
fucking
was
Irish coke
bought.
dealer.
Everybody was bought, man. Like so yeah.
And then
There's
the
no way of
doctors, he
debating.
had blood work. He was hospitalized after for his injuries. Anytime you get hospitalized, they do a blood workup on you. That's just par the course. So he could go get his blood screen, a talk screen right now. Why doesn't he release his blood work? 'Cause you know why? It'll say nothing found. And then the only thing he could say is, well, then they slipped me GHB or roofie because it's out of your system in 48 hours. Or it actually turns to like the same kind of carbon dioxide in your system.
Absolutely.
So it'd be some kind of lie.
We gotta move on. Chris, thank you for calling, man. Great call. Call back again next time, all right? Take care.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Yep.
All right, we have another phone call. I don't know if this is gonna, because this shit's gonna end soon, the block talk. 917. 917, go ahead.
Yo, how you doing? How you doing, fellas? I'm back, but I want to speak of a very important message. If we get anything out of this conversation, is this: I think Jimmy would be able to understand this because he's into this and also is recognized. The LDBC is a symptom of what's wrong with this country, but there's an ongoing problem in this country that's caused by the elite wanting to distract all of us. They want the establishment elite want a culture war instead of class war. They're facilitating
Bingo.
a culture war to distract us. They're distracting us from the real issue, which is class war. They want to turn race against race, so you're distracted about the real problem. If you guys remember Occupy Wall Street,
yes,
okay, it was the regular people, lefties, righty, coming together, realizing what's really wrong with this country. But then the establishment realized what was happening.
Yes.
So they started feeding us this narrative. They started turning it into, transgenderism, feminism. So we don't question the real thing that's wrong with this country. So they facilitated an entire race war, turning neighbor against neighbor, friends against friends. So we don't get to the root of the real issue, and that is class warfare. So the LDBC, all the race baiters, everything that they're doing, turning race against race, they're doing exactly what the elites want. This is exactly what the establishment want. Oh, don't talk about corruption in economics and Wall Street. Why don't we talk about something useless? Talk about this imaginary racism, and it's worked so far. No one's talking about the real issue. Look at Wall Street bets. Look at how corrupt Robinhood was. Everything that they did, right? And as long as the people have something else on their mind, they're never going to question that. All people want to do today is talk about, lefties versus righty, racism, this and that. And as long as you keep the people occupied, you make the regular people mad at each other. We're not going to be mad at them.
Hey, caller. Hey, caller, I heard it put this way once. Somebody said, man, nobody notices their safe being broken into when you're breaking their windows. Meaning, distract them doing something, make them run to the front of the house where you're in the back robbing them. It's exact same premise.
I just posted a picture.
Distract them and then hit them.
I just posted a picture of this gay parade, and then who's sponsoring this shit? Chase and JP Morgan, right? The people that were afraid of people showing up for what's it called? Occupy Wall Street. They were pissing their fucking pants. They were pissing their pants. So now they're like, what do we do? Well, let's distract them. So they start funding all this other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was
That's
during
where
that
Antifa
time
was
when
born.
Obama was in power. This whole Black Lives Matter stuff started happening. All this stuff, all meant to distract you from the real issue.
That's right. We should be uniting.
LGBTC, I kind of feel bad for them because they're a pawn. They're doing exactly what the establishment wants them to do.
Good point. Great call, man.
Good call. Yeah, excellent call.
I know that leftism is a disease to society. Leftism has caused issues, anywhere they went. In America, in England, anywhere in the world. That's a fact for sure.
Yep.
Great call.
The fact that JP Morgan
you
is funding
Hey, brother, you got to call in when we do the second Renaissance. You should call in, man.
Yeah. Call in for the
Yeah,
second
I
renaissance.
like it, but I don't like the anti-Semitism in it. That's why I can't stand it. I can't stand
Dude,
anti-Semitism.
yeah.
People blame Jews, but let me tell you, the Jews that do it are secular Jews. They're not Orthodox observant Jews. They're Jews and
I said the same thing.
who are in it. But those
They're
Jews
Zionists.
do not represent Judaism at all.
The fuck's going on there with the dog? Stu. Oh my god.
Oh no, Stu. I mean, caller. I said the same thing. I know a bunch of Jews from Israel, right? And they're crazy patriotic, fucking believing right wing or conservative values. Like you said, it's the secular ones here. Totally different. I said that too. Yeah, I've said that.
They don't
All
do
right.
anything.
Again,
They
I'm
don't
not
observe
anti.
Judaism whatsoever.
I'm not
So
anti-Semitic.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
anti.
they
I'm
give Jews a bad name, but it's not
anti-Zionism.
just them.
Dave, just so you understand, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionism. That's what I'm
Great.
anti.
Exactly. Right
All
on,
right.
brother.
Well, this is a
Yeah,
discussion for the
Orthodox
second.
Jews
David,
are
we're gonna stop
anti-Zionist
this. This is a discussion for the second renaissance. But yeah, we'll talk. Join the show, man. Join the show. All right. Take care.
too. Okay,
Great
all right,
phone call.
thank you. Peace out.
All right. Stu, I had to kick you out. I'm pretty sure you're not even there, but your dog was barking.
This fucking dog was going
His
crazy.
mic is unmuted. How do I bring him? Oh shit.
What kind of
Anyway.
dogs? Yeah, that sounds like a big dog.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that damn show was a big dog.
Yeah, it wasn't no little dog.
All right. Well, this is supposed to be Stu's show.
Somebody said someone was coming to the door. I think that's why the
okay. I
dog was
didn't hear
barking.
him. Didn't hear him.
I don't know.
Well, we talked about the fights from yesterday. What's coming? What's next? Guys in the chat, let me know also.
What did you guys think of Diaz? I came on an hour after the show started. What did you think of
JD's?
Diaz's performance?
No, Diaz. It was a close fight.
I thought Diaz lost myself.
Yeah, he lost the fight.
Yeah,
I didn't even score it.
I thought he lost.
He rocked him off the business, man. That's
He was
right,
landing
I
the harder
said.
shots. That's just my impression. He was landing the harder shots, but ring generalship. Some people are saying that the Kyrgyz. Where is he from? Not Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, he was.
Tajikistan.
Tajikistan.
Yeah.
He was controlling. He was landing those jabs, controlling the fight a little bit better.
Look, that fight could have went
I
either
didn't
way. I'm
score
not gonna. I thought JoJo edged it out, but I don't have a problem with anybody thinking he lost or it's a draw.
Well, see, JoJo came on strong in the last few rounds. Those are the rounds
Yeah,
you tend
he
to
did.
remember. But in the first fucking 6 rounds, that dude owned him. He wasn't even. Some rounds he wasn't even like landing punches.
I guess if you want to
know.
give him all 6 rounds, the first 6 rounds, maybe you could say he won the fight, Ratnikov, whatever his name is. But
I mean, I didn't score it by a wide margin. I just had I had Diaz losing by I think 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see that.
I wouldn't call it a robbery, but I definitely thought the kid, But at least they didn't fuck him. A draw is better than a total fucking.
Hey, how flabby did he? I mean, he looked like fat Fernando Vargas. Like, remember when Vargas was like, that same? Oh no, guys, you know who he? Yeah, I talked to Mr. BDA. We were saying, yeah, it's true. He looks like he reminds us of Juan Diaz. Remember the lightweight?
Well, yeah, Juan Diaz.
Like
yep.
not
baby,
enough pop.
The baby bull.
Baby bull,
man.
not enough pop in those punches, man. Like he throws them. Sometimes you even hear them, but they're not really hurting.
He used to grunt. Remember when Diaz used to?
Yeah.
He doesn't turn over and he yells. You know when you yell that when you punch, you're losing energy when you do that. If I ever trained a kid, I would tell him absolutely do not do that.
You're supposed to let out air at the end of the punch, not while you're throwing the punch. So in other words, you throw the punch and you breathe as you breathe out.
Exactly. All right, but brothers, there's enough of those guys doing that, right? I'm going to ask you, right? I'll propose a question. Maybe you guys would know them, so you can enlighten me. Name the big or at least known knockout puncher or one-string guy who makes that sound.
You time
Roy
it,
Jones.
Jimmy.
Roy Jones. Remember, he used to go. So the punches go. The punch with when he hit the guy, when he made contact, you heard the. That's him breathing out.
Yeah, but he was so fast. Maybe he got away with it. But like
Yeah,
I remember,
he got
they
away
always
with it,
said like,
exactly.
don't do that because they can time you, right? You can you hear the. And I remember like when Tyson fought Francois Botha, And remember, both I used to scream all the time. Everything
Yeah.
to a point.
Yeah.
And at some point, he was like doing ha, and then he was like ha, and he didn't even finish his the second one because he got dropped. So he was like,
Mike Tyson, yeah, Mike.
yeah, and then
Mike
he went,
hits him,
ha,
Mike
and then he
hits him
went
right
like,
in the middle of the.
and then he,
So he goes.
yeah, he was timing the guy, man. He was timing him, like doing the same
Yeah,
shit,
he's
1 2
timing
1
him.
2 1 2, with the same fucking sound. Ah,
Oh, Mike was a specialist. Even in his old, his
Yeah.
old washed up days, he was just you couldn't do that against him.
no, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
I
Yeah,
just
you're
I'm
right,
not a
Jimmy.
fan of that.
That's annoying. Also, it's kind of annoying.
Never have been. Closer Shields does it too.
Yeah,
Every time she
there's
hits.
nothing wrong with breathing out when you're punching. It's just that you got to know when to do it. You know,
In the punching
It's
bag, you do that in
I
the
think a lot of
punching
people
bag.
do it
You
for
know when?
psychological effect.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
Jimmy, exactly.
Agree.
It's like you're hitting the punching bag, and like you're just fucking tired, and you just like you just want to finish the round, and you start like maybe doing that.
If you ever see if you ever see a street fight, right? There'll be a guy who's talking while he's punching, right? He'll be like, bitch, right? But then there's a guy that he waits till he knocks you out, then he talks shit, right? Like he waits till
Yeah.
boom, and then he because what he's used to, more likely he's used to breathing out when he's punching. He understands the science of, you breathe in, you let it out when once you make contact, you you go like that, and that's basically what Roy Jones used to do most of the time, and Francois Botha, let's just say, would do it while he's throwing punches in one deal.
Well, it also tells your opponent when to throw a liver shot. You catch somebody on the exit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You catch somebody when they're breathing fully out, and you hit them in the liver. You're done.
And not only that, some people could breathe out without you even when they punch you, without you even knowing it. You don't have to make it. You don't have to make it loud where people could hear you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's terrible. Yeah, it's no point. There's no need for that.
There's some people that's so strong they're holding their breath the whole time and still knock you out.
Gary Russell does it, right? I think Gary Russell Jr. used to do it even more when he was younger. I think he doesn't do it as much. Broner does it. A lot of those guys, right? And none of those guys are big punches. I'm just saying, you don't see guys do that. I'm keep waiting to see somebody with hits hard do that.
Pacquiao did it when training. Like I said, when you're training, you can do whatever the fuck whatever you want, but you can.
De La Hoya with that fucking left of his, he never did that. That fucking left. He just once he made contact, you knew. It was just like you were done.
That was a good left hook, man.
He never did that with fucking Trinidad. I thought he had plenty of opportunities to hit him with a big left.
He was kind of slapping because he was coming in and out.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like he was really sitting on his punches. He was just throwing them fast, but without really like turning on them.
I think he robbed himself a little bit because who knows what he could have done. I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe he does nothing to Trinidad.
Do you remember why the rematch never happened? I don't remember. I didn't.
Because what Tito wanted was $20 million, and Trinidad and De La Hoya was like, "Nah, I'm not giving you $20 million."
And Duncan had other plans, right? Like he's like, why fight De La Hoya again and maybe lose or whatever? Like just moving on to 154, then 160, and then remember, like the plan was to end it up with Roy Jones, like at light heavyweight or some shit. Yeah.
He wanted to fight. I think they were proposing maybe 168 when Roy, because Roy was not a natural 175 pounder. He was a lot smaller than these guys that he was in the ring with.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I still remember when Trinidad fought William Joppy. The atmosphere.
Oh man,
the
that
crowd
shit was crazy, man.
And then fucking Joppy, what a piece of shit this guy. No defense. Anyways, he gets dropped, and then the crowd just goes fucking crazy, man. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear you couldn't hear the commentators, I think. I have to rewatch it, but yeah, that was That's why I said Puerto Rico, they need another fucking champion, man. Puerto Rico, they need.
Yeah, I hope they get one too. I hope what I hope for. I don't care who does it, but let's say like Berlanga. I like the kid, man. I found out some stuff about him because he's from the New York area, and from everything I hear, he's a good kid. But he needs to get out of the first round, Bucho. That's not going to help him, man, against the top guys.
It's up to Bob Arum. Is that what you're saying? Bob Arum needs to like really pick a good opponent that's gonna take him past.
I don't know. I don't know if Bob Arum is even doing the. He's obviously, he's obviously. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's obviously so strong that these guys can't take it. I've seen these guys with their facial reaction saying, "Yo, what the fuck did I just get hit with?" But there's got to be. He's got to build up his stamina game for a guy because like. There's a good chance you're not going to knock a guy like Benavidez out in the first round. What are you going to do in the second, the third, the fourth, the 5th?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? So,
if he's going to be getting hit back as well, he needs to. Yeah, it's up to Bob Arum to find the right opponent.
Yeah, they got to get him in there with somebody who can last more than one round. I mean, at this point, I'm willing to get him to the second fucking round. You know what I'm saying? I just want
somebody. Talking about Belandra?
Yeah,
Belanga,
yeah. I'm with you, Bucho. I think boxing is without a Puerto Rican. I hate when boxing doesn't have a Puerto Rican champ. I don't know, because I grew up with so many great Puerto Rican champs. You know what I mean? Wilfred Benitez. You know what I mean? 17 years old. Hector Camacho. Fucking the kid who beat Camacho. Another one who punched like a mule. I can't remember his name on top of my head.
Rosario.
Exactly.
Rosario, yeah.
Punched like a fucking mule. Tough kid from, I think, New York
City.
Had
so much fucking... Yeah, he was from Puerto Rico, but I think he spent time in New York.
Like he lived up in New York City. Well, I mean, at one point, isn't there more Puerto Ricans through ethnicity living in the United States now than in Puerto Rico?
I think so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I could be wrong, but because in Puerto Rico, there's 3 million people. The population is 3 million.
Oh, there's at least 3 million Puerto Ricans in the United States. There has to be. I would imagine.
Between New York and the East Coast. In New York.
Yeah, we got a lot of Puerto Ricans in Lowell, man.
So what's the problem with Puerto Rican boxing? Like, why? I mean, I don't understand. Like, it should be more. There have always been a lot of Puerto Rican champions. Like now that we're just talking about Berlanga, and pretty sure maybe I'm missing somebody else, but there's not a lot.
Right, we're getting a lot more. Excuse me, we're getting a lot more like from the, Honduras and Nicaragua. We're getting more like Spanish fighters out of that part of the world now. It used to be it was Mexico, Puerto Rico, and America. Like that's where most of the Spanish guys came from.
Yeah.
Then like even what's his name, Matisse. He was one of the first Argentinian ones that I knew of.
RR1000 says no Cubans neither. Well, Cubans, they've never really. I don't know, man. They're mostly amateurs, right? And then somebody we started having a little wave.
Exactly, the state. They don't have professional boxing in Cuba. They still only have amateur ranks.
No, but I think what he means is because there was a point a few years ago when we started getting a few of them that were defecting, whatever you want to call it.
Defecting, yeah. But when they were at their best, Teofimo, Stevenson, I don't know if you guys don't remember him, a heavyweight from the 70s. He was the guy a lot of people thought could beat Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah. That never happened.
But I mean, what was it? The 80 Olympics? They won like fucking 90% of the gold medals. Was it Team Cuba? Was it 80? I know there was one Olympics. They won like almost every gold medal. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but in professional, professional boxing, I mean, it's hard for them to even get to the United States, so I don't know what.
Well, when they're at their height and so really talented, the government is on them more. It's harder to defect when you're a national treasure, especially back when it's maybe not the same now that Fidel's dead, but when he was alive, you got to remember Fidel's number one sport was boxing. He was a boxing fanatic. So when you had a great boxer, they lived like a king, comparatively speaking.
Yeah,
like
relatively
Stevenson,
speaking.
They lived well, but still,
You get an extra bottle. You get one bottle of wine. Like that makes now you're the king of Cuba.
You get a car that look, you go to Cuba today, all their American cars ended in like 1960 when when it all fell.
And they're still fixing them and everything, huh?
Oh yeah. My friend went there and he said he took a cab and the fucking guy made his carburetor out of a coffee can.
No way.
Yep. Talk about fucking ingenuity, huh?
Yeah, well, when you have to work with what you have, that's what I noticed also about prison. You know, I was watching all these documentaries about prison, and these prisoners are pretty clever. I mean, well, you know, just Jimmy, you work in a prison,
I
like
say it all the time, dude. The things they come up with. I used to say it to them. I'm like, if you assholes put half the ingenuity
yes,
you do to come up with shit in here in the street, you motherfuckers would be rich. No, but
Not
again, they're
true. It's not true.
24/7.
It's not
No, I
true,
know,
Jimmy.
I know, because
Because
it's a different lifestyle. I understand what you're saying, but it
yeah,
was
you only have
fascinating to see
time
the
to
shit they
think
come up
about.
with.
Listen, like, all right, when you now Jimmy's from the guard perspective, from the inmate perspective, I tell you this. You only have time to sit around and think about how to get over it, fam. Well, it's like, look,
24/7.
it's like no honor amongst thieves. Motherfuckers sitting there think about how to get over on the COs, how to get over on each other, how to get over on the doctors when they go to the clinic. Maybe they can steal something. It's all you think about is how to get over, or you know, that's just what it
And
is.
they would
So,
tell me all this shit. They would fill me in because I wasn't a ball breaker. I think I wrote up 2 people the whole time. The 17 months I worked there, I think I wrote up 2. And if you're like, that's not a lot. 2 people in
no, no.
17. I didn't write people up because my thing was this. I used to say to them, and they'd say, "Man, at least you know." I'd say the only difference between me and you is you got caught. You know what I mean? Because I did plenty of shit when I was a kid to get fucking hemmed up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They just think about how to get over. So they innovative, man. They
yeah,
innovative
but
as
I'm
fuck.
saying humans, we have that. I mean, sure, the conditions are there for you to have to tap into that creativity, but everybody can. That's what I'm saying. Most people can, I believe. But even
Dude, the
society, it's like
trans
if
guys made makeup.
society,
Think about that,
yeah, go
Bucho.
ahead.
They made makeup out of fucking like black
Oh
eyeliner.
yeah.
They would take the rubber caulking around windows in any office building. They have that little you can take your fingernail and stick it into it. I don't know how they figured out, but they would peel the caulking out. They would take baby oil. It would melt down in baby oil, and then it would almost dry to a paste. Because I'd say, how do you guys get that black eyeliner? He goes, oh, this is what we do. And I'm like, oh, is that why all the fucking rubber's missing around the windows? But it's just crazy, right? It just goes to your point. The shit they come up with.
Yeah, it's true, man. We have that as humans. Well, why did I start mentioning this? What were we talking about before?
Oh, you were saying about human ingenuity about in Cuba because I said they made a
Oh
gas can.
yeah.
A coffee can. He turned it. My buddy took a picture of it. And it was a Folgers fucking coffee can that he turned into he had it working. But like you said, you had to do what you had to do.
That Funk Tapas in the chat says, speaking of getting over, where do I donate? And this channel gets the highest percentage of what I send. I want to give $20. How much of that we'll actually see? I think YouTube takes 25%. No, more than that.
40. They take 40,
30%.
40%. All right. So we get 60.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Fucking
crooks.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Well, that was a nice thing, huh? That dude saying that.
I don't know, man.
I feel guilty fucking donating because I don't want YouTube getting fucking 40%.
Yeah, well, guy, we have the Funk Tapas. We have a PayPal account. You can donate through there.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm anti YouTube.
Or we have Patreon. The links are in the description, man. If you wanna,
You say you're anti YouTube.
I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not really.
Don't say that. We love YouTube. We love
you got
YouTube.
that one, D. You're right. I'm like, wait a second. I'm not that anti YouTube. I'm on the motherfucker. Nah.
Fuck Susan.
Yeah, fuck Susan.
Where's Stu? He's supposed to be his show. I was supposed to do some other shit.
Fucking Stu. Stu had that. He had that
Stu,
food delivery
man.
come in, and he left.
This fuck.
He left.
Bucho kicked him out.
What is that? Do you have any standards?
Well, I don't know, man.
You have any standards?
Hey guys, at the end of last night's show, I had hung up, but I heard no, I was listening. I don't think I called in. No, I was listening, and Gonzalo said, did I hear him right? Did he say his wife left him?
Something like that. I don't think she left him like for good.
I hope not, man.
I think it was just an argument.
Woman.
No, he
Okay.
called
It
in.
seems like
He
an
was
argument.
he was on the show today, no, and he didn't say anything.
All right, good. Yeah, I'd be
I think he had
heartbroken for
a
him.
Jimmy. What I think happened, he had an argument with her.
Okay, because I heard him say something about drinking too much. He was on him about that.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Yeah,
and I know he's about to have a baby. I'm thinking, oh my god, that's the worst fucking time. The poor kid. That's going through a lot of shit. But okay, good. I'm glad it was just banter. All right.
Gonzalo's a good dude. He just
Nah, he is.
when he has
Very
a
good
few
kid.
drinks, he's
got a good
very
heart.
energetic. He's really energetic.
He knows boxing though. He does know his
No,
boxing.
he does. I told him that.
No,
Man.
He used to
absolutely.
train with Eric Morales and other
Yeah.
boxers. He used to.
Where he comes from in Mexico, which is like the way I understand it, it's the borderline. It's TJ, right? Tijuana.
Yeah.
He's right there by California. So the way I understand it, where he grew up at, and he proved that already, that all these boxers grew up in the same area or close to the same area where he was from. Eric Morales, what's the guy that fought Pacquiao? Not Eric Morales.
Castillo.
No,
Sorry, Pacquiao. Who fought, the
the guy
lightweight.
from Mexico. Right after he fought Morales, remember? He beat Morales in the second fight.
Diaz. No, what's his name?
No, it wasn't Diaz. It's at 130.
No, is TJ? Is that a part of Sinaloa province?
No,
I'm not
no, that's not Sinaloa.
I don't know if it was a part of that province.
No, it's not.
Because I know Sinaloa is supposed to have put out the most champions of all provinces in Mexico.
So where he grew up at, Jimmy, a lot of these guys that made it, like 2 or 3 guys from where he's at fought Pacquiao, or at least two guys. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. He's got a lot to be proud of.
No, he's a good kid. He's got a good heart too. He's a good guy, like Gonzalo. Like all you guys,
and
like
gentlemen.
Soprano's good guys.
All right, we're gonna end the show. It's been more than 2 hours, but yeah.
Facts.
Take care.
All right, y'all.
All right, hey, you guys be safe, all right? Bucho, thanks for having me on. Recognize, be
Renaissance, man.
good,
We gotta
brother.
do a second Renaissance. Please.
All right, we'll try to do
All
a
right, you too,
Renaissance.
G. Take care, buddy. I know you were still there, brother.
All right, guys, thank you for joining. Guys in the chat, thank you for joining us. I mean, yeah, maybe we should have a Renaissance later tonight. I'm gonna message Mr. BDA. Maybe he'll host a Renaissance. But yeah, thank you to everybody who joined the show. Actually, especially people who donated. Michael Poe, the Brotherhood, and One Foot Out the Door. Thank you for the contributions, and I want to also thank everybody, obviously, in the chat. Hit the like button, please, if you like the show, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.